Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SUVtv's coverage of high school football in Atlanta, Georgia. We are live from Norcross on the campus of Greater Atlanta Christian, where the Spartans will host the Prestonwood Christian Academy Lions. Hello, everybody. My name's Matt Mahoney alongside Masio Hurd. We're going to hear from our sideline reporter, Hassan Khan, in just a moment. Masio, as we welcome you into the broadcast here, as if Friday night under the lights didn't get the juices flowing enough, we've got two of the best private schools from their respective states. PCA from Plano, Texas, GAC from here in Norcross, Georgia.
Think about this, Matt. Friday Night Lights, Texas, Georgia, getting together. Kickoff coming soon. Can't wait.
It is absolutely electric here between these two teams. The festivities started all the way from last night. We'll get to all the storylines and the excitement here tonight, but for now, let's take a look at this matchup and see how they match up on paper. A look at this contest at a glance, presented by Gwinnett Football Report. Masio, these two teams, a couple of games under their belt already this year, but a big one they've all had circled for quite some time tonight.
Listen, think about last year's game, monsoon, 3-hour game turned into a 6-hour game. Now we get pretty weather again in the state of Georgia. Can't ask for a better time.
As we look at some of the X's and O's in this contest, what's something when GAC has the football that you're looking forward to seeing here tonight?
Well, what I want to see tonight, quarterback play. I always like to look at quarterback play. Which guy is going to command the team, get the coaching staff in and out of good plays, and have fun. That's the biggest part about Friday Night Lights.
And that's a big part for PCA's game plan here today. They're going to run a two-quarterback system here tonight. They're probably going to lean on their defense more tonight than they will their offense. What's something they're going to do to stop that Spartan offensive attack?
Well, one of the big things that defense has to do, stay sound. One of the things Coach talked about all week was making sure we don't blow assignments, keep these fast, athletic GAC guys in front of us, and make plays.
We're also going to take a look here at the coaches and how they match up from a bio standpoint here. Look at their biography. For PAC, longtime head coach there for the Lions as they make the long trip here. Sort of an administrative decision for their coaching staff. They bring a party of more than 120 people here on a flight from Dallas to Atlanta.
It's funny, they play in the biggest classification of private football. And again, coming from Texas, we understand how big football is in the state. Gigantic. So what he wants to see his team more than anything compete at a very high level.
Chris Cunningham started at PCA all the way back in 2007, was the AD, got back into coaching in 2008. Got the itch a little bit there, and so he's got his lines ready to roar here tonight versus the Spartans. On the other side, the home crowd, a veteran coach here in Gwinnett County. Everybody knows his name. Went from Mountain View High School over here to Greater Atlantic Christian. He's been at the helm of this program for 8 years and has just absolutely spat out recruits and state championship appearances.
Right. And I always like head coaches who are quarterbacks. They just seem to have a great control and command of the offense.
Spartans are at midfield for both these respective squads. The Spartans are going to wear the white helmets with red uniforms and red pants with the white letters and numbers and a black trim here. Marcio, we can't go far into this broadcast without seeing 78 in red kind of jump out on the page there.
Listen, we talk about that a lot in the recruiting process. This kid, he has it. I want to see him move all over this football field. Highly recruited guy. Looking for him to have a big night tonight. Yeah,
that's Miles Hinton there. His older brother Chris has obviously been a big part of this GAC program, playing defensive line for the Michigan Wolverines now, and so he's not going to follow his brother's footsteps to the Big Ten. May see him at the Rose Bowl in the Pac-12 as Miles will be headed to Stanford next season as one of the best offensive linemen in the nation, and that's the Spartans going to run right behind big number 78 in that big offensive line for GAC here tonight. On the other side for Prestonwood, they're going to bring a two-quarterback system in here tonight, and they're going to hold a lot of options, trying to figure out some identity with a new team. Coach Cunningham said, we're really good, we're really talented, we're just really inexperienced at some very important positions.
Right, and the thing about having a two-quarterback system, which guy gets the feel for the game and can continue to carry the team all the way through the fourth quarter.
And we definitely want to thank our friends over at Gwinnett Football Report who's making this broadcast possible. Check them out on Twitter at GwinnettFB and Instagram too as well. We're moments away here from kickoff as the PCA Lions bring that Texas pride with them. The Lone Star State flag as well as the American flag sprints across midfield, and they head to the far sideline wearing the white helmets, the white shirts, the navy blue pants with the navy blue numbers trimmed in gold. Masio, let's dive right into it here. Give me 2 or 3 keys to this game do you think decides the winner and the loser?
Always the turnover battle. Got to start with turnover. The team that can control the ball and keep the ball and not give it away, always going to win the game. time of possession, very critical in high school football games. And quarterback play, always going to be quarterback play for me at this level.
And it will be interesting here for GAC. They're going to bring back their starter in Jackson Hardy. He is the son of head coach and Tim Hardy. His senior season, he's headed off to the University of Richmond when his prep career is over. Big physical frame for him, can sling it around the ballpark whenever needed. It may be the key for the Spartans here today, because they're going to rely on that offensive line to run the football
again
with their trio of backs.
And that's what they need to do. Put the ball on the floor, control the time, and get out of here with a win.
And so hometown crowd here, a lot of extracurricular activity in a positive way that has surrounded this football game here leading up to this contest. PCA flew into town yesterday morning about 10 a.m. There was actually a volleyball game between the Spartans and the Lions last night.
Yes.
Early mental advantage for the Lions as the girls took care of business out on the hardwood last night. They're obviously in the stands. They brought their cheerleaders, and again, a 120-plus member party making a trip from Plano, Texas to Norcross, Georgia. So the GAC Spartans will receive the opening kickoff here. 12 minutes on the clock, 4 quarters of play. We're Friday night under the lights here from Norcross, Georgia on the campus of Greater Atlanta Christian. Teeing things up for PCA will be their kicker, and Troop O'Neal, a freshman, will strike it with his right foot. And we are underway with football here in Gwinnett County. It's a pooch kick, short to the far side. It'll hit about the 15, take an awkward bounce past Bailey. Bailey's going to retreat back to inside his own goal line, where he'll let it trickle into the end zone for a very fortunate touchback early for GAC.
We need him to get on that ball a little quicker than that. Definitely.
So we get a lot of anxiousness, excitedness around this contest here, as these two teams did play last year in Plano, Texas. It was the Lions coming out to an early 13-0 lead in that contest. At halftime, JC scrapped across the touchdown in the second half. Prestonwood Christian took that victory last year just on the outskirts of Dallas, Texas. So here comes the GAC Spartan attack, led by quarterback and the coach's son, in Jackson Hardy, 6'4", 215 pounds. Two receivers, Z side, motions the tailback back into the backfield. He will hand it off and a run up the middle, gets around to the hash mark, positive yardage out to about the 25-yard line. And good game for the Spartans on first down.
Lewis Hinton trying to run behind Hinton early. Got Bride on his first carry. Look for Bride to carry the ball 15 to 20 times tonight, along with his cornerback duties.
Bride, Bailey, Henry, trio of running backs that'll get their fair share of carries tonight for the Spartans in red. This will bring up 2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line. Trip to the far side, includes a tight end, big receiver to the near side with a one-back set. Hardy gets a snap, looks to his left, goes to the tight end on the far side. It's going to be caught, hit short of the first down, positive yardage, and a pitch and catch out to the tight end and Thomas Lohman.
I think that's the type of game plan we're going to see tonight. They're going to use their passing game sort of like a running game also, 5-yard out right there. I like the way they're mixing up the offense early on.
So trying to get Hardy and that Spartan offense settled into this contest. It'll bring up 3rd and short, positive gain of 2 yards. We'll call the first down marker at the 30 and make it 3rd and 3. Spartans offensive line booked in by 2 fabulous prep recruits in Hinton and the sophomore Nichols. Hardy in a shotgun set, gets a snap, rolls it out to the near side of caught, crossed the first down marker at the 30, taken out the 36-yard line. Again, beautiful pitch and catch there. Brooks Miller on the receiving end of that first down.
And again, when you running pass plays like those, extended handoff, getting the ball outside to your playmakers, letting them move the chains for the first down.
We will not see the new millennial age of hurry-up offenses out of either one of these teams.
Not at all.
Macio, for your and I's sake, I appreciate that greatly.
Grind the clock.
And it's interesting, in today's day and age, to me, this is normal.
Right.
But now it's, to this day and age now, it's grinding that clock out. They faked a jet sweep there, handed off to the tailback and Bride. Bride got a first down and more, crosses midfield just short of that Spartans logo at the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 11.
And here they go in a spread offense, not in a hurry, counter action, getting Bride the football again. One of your playmakers, get him in space, let him make plays.
So that'll move the chains again. Still in GAC territory there. Misspoke. It'll be 1st and 10 on their own 49-yard line.
Right on the logo.
And again, beautiful facilities here at Greater Atlanta Christian. It is no stranger to what Prestonwood Christian has either.
Yes.
Both these teams come from just fantastic, not even first class, it's top class facilities from their respective programs.
Right. And think about it. The team from Plano They 2 years removed from state championship, so they know what it takes.
Hardy fakes the handoff. Got some heat in his face here. So gets around one defender, but not the second, not the third. He'll be taken down for a loss of 3.
And that's what Coach Cunningham was talking about with his defense. We're going to have to make plays. Nice blitz concept they had there. Putting GAC behind the chains right here.
Diego Camarena and company pick up the sack and a loss of 3. It'll push things back to the 46 in a 2nd and 12 situation here. Again, first down marker sits in Lion territory at the 41-yard line. Trips to the left side, and a big wide receiver and Lohman to the near. Hardy gets the snap, looking to pass to his left, now comes back over the middle of the field. It's going to be in and out of the hands of Lohman right at the first down marker, and this is going to bring up 3rd and long. First real test for this GAC offense.
And Coach Hardy on a play like that, once they go to film review, that's a catch you need your guy to make. Keep the chains moving. Now you put yourself in 3rd and long.
Lohman's been targeted twice on 3 pass plays already, a catch and a drop.
And like you say, we're going with not a hurry up, to the line, almost like a check with me. Coach calling the plays. Let's see what we get on 3rd and long here.
Same exact formation. They exit out the tight end and put 3 receivers, true trips to the left side. Hardy drops back to pass, steps up, throws a long one down the left side, and that's going to be over the intended target. Little foot fight there between the DB for PCA, and that was Nate Stafford and the wide receiver and the intended target for Greater Atlanta Christian and Zach Mixon.
It almost looked like it was a mix-up there. The quarterback wanted him to run like a deep crosser, and the receiver decided he was going to run a post. They'll talk about it on the sideline to make the adjustment.
So after a couple of first downs, GC is going to be forced to punt right at midfield to win this field position battle. Back deep to punt will be number 40. It'll be Tyler Curlin, a senior kicker, 5'8", 175 pounds. He'll call for the ball. He'll get it cleanly. And a nice spiraling punt that's going to drop right about the 11, take a great GAC bounce, trickle inside the 10. It'll be rolled dead at about the 6, and field position battle won early by the Spartans on that punt attempt.
See, Prestonwood Christian is going to have to start their night from the 6-yard line. It's going to be very interesting.
So here comes the Lions attack. We could see either quarterback literally about 45 minutes before kickoff. I tried my hardest to get it out of Coach Cunningham, but he says it's just a matter of circumstances and situation. He has a freshman quarterback that's been in the system, and McGuire Martin, who knows the plays, can get people lined up, or his other option is Jacob Switzer, the senior quarterback who's transferred into the program, whose learning curve is what he wants to make it. The quicker he can establish this offense, the quicker he can get going and be the commander of this offense. But for now, it's the freshman and McGuire Martin who will get the opening snap. He will hand it off on a zone read play there to number 15. I believe that's Grant Garcia, who will get the carry. Correction, make that Timothy Taylor the running back. And it'll be a short gain out to about the 12.
A generous 2-yard gain. One of the things that we see GAC wants to do, definitely plug up those A-gaps. Anytime teams run a lot of inside zone, got to take care of them A-gaps.
Check that. It's out to the 6. It'll now be 2nd and 9. And again, McGuire gets a snap, another handoff. He'll be swallowed up and dropped in the backfield there again. This is Taylor with the carry. A lot of push on that interior line for GAC. Getting a good read is Oswala, the senior.
As we head to 3rd down, it looks like what Coach Cunningham doesn't like this field position here. Probably wants to make another probably good play, middle of the field, get his punt team out.
And so now 3rd and back to the original line of scrimmage at the 6. 3rd and 10. GAC brings 5 DBs into the game, expecting pass. McGuire retreats back into the zone, end zone. Rolled to his right, slings it out to their side. It's in and out of the hands of the DB, who had a pick 6. Not a pick, had a pick 6 gifted to him. But the DB in number 4, Tyler McBride, in and out of the hands. Georgia Southern's not going to be happy about that.
Georgia Southern's not going to be happy about that at all. One of the things we know, defensive backs are really receivers that can't catch.
I was going to say it, but you did.
Right. So Tyler McBride, he's gonna feel some kind of way about that one once he watches film.
Back deep to receive for GAC is number 9 and Brooks Miller. Miller, the junior, you have to step up in the circumstances here in the absence of some of the go-to wide receivers for the Spartans. Standing inside his own end zone for PAC will be their punter. A low snap, but he gets it, puts a healthy Booth on it, and that's going to retreat Miller all the way back to midfield. He'll make the clean catch, cross the 45, and be rumbled down at about the 39-yard line. And again, GAC winning that field position battle. They'll start at 1st and 10 in Lions territory.
Second offensive drive, always good to start on the plus side. Let's see what kind of plays Coach dials up on this drive here. Very positive way to start the second drive.
It was PAC with the early score last year's contest in front of the home crowd. What would it mean for this GAC hometown crowd on the home opener to get the first score in the first quarter?
Well, they can be mad at Bride for not putting them up 6-0 early, but let's see if he can atone for that mistake once he gets the ball on the offensive side.
Jackson Harden, the senior quarterback, lining his troops up here. 2 tight end set with receivers split to each side. They have the smaller running back there, and I believe that's Trey Henry in the backfield. He'll switch him to Jackson's left pocket. He will get the carry up the middle. He'll be hit and dropped immediately there on the play. He'll be met by the linebacker and Braden Ridnour.
Again, coach changes set. They opened up pretty much in trip set. Now we're in double tight, seeing if he can maybe get behind this big offensive line and lean on these guys.
I stand corrected there. That's Monte Bailey, the senior running back, 5'7". He's the more the speedster, gets the carry in between the tackles there. They'll trade out a tight end for a wide receiver and Brooks Miller. Miller in the slot to the right. Tight end goes to the left. Bailey stays in the game. Jackson gets a snap, hands it off to Bailey, cuts up the middle. He'll be hit and dropped again. It's PAC defensive line, a little bit of push there, and that's Walker Lunsford with the tackle on the play coming up from his middle linebacker position.
So now here we go with 3rd and 10, another 3rd and long situation. Draw or pass. And I think you're going to have the Prestonwood defense. They're sitting ready on it. They're sitting ready.
I had a chance to talk to Tim Hardy earlier this week, and he says with his top 2 wide receivers out of this contest, really wants to target those tight ends. Here's a prime opportunity here. We saw it in 3rd and long previously. Do we get it again here? PAC brings the blitz, a heavy blitz too. Ball is on the turf. It's picked up by PAC. That's their go-to two-way player, and Riley Wilson, a 2-year starter, and the emotional leader of that defense for the Lions, picks up a big turnover, and now it's the Lions' chance to switch field position in the scoreless contest in this first quarter.
One of the guys Coach Cunningham talked about in our talk this week, always expecting this kid to be around the ball and make plays, and here he is again.
No time off for Riley Wilson. He scoops up the football on defense, turns right back around, and comes out to the wide receiver spot on the near side. Sticks out like a sore thumb with the yellow undershirt and the yellow gloves. I like your style, young man.
Yes.
3 receivers to the near side.
The kids call that drip today.
I like it. There's going to be a shotgun high snap, handoff to the running back in Randall Holmes. He'll be tripped up at about the 45-yard line, positive gain. And again, PAC going with the freshman quarterback, McGuire Martin. We certainly expect to see Jacob Switzer at some point today.
Yeah, and clearly he's going with the young guy. He probably has a better command of the offense right now. And again, he did tell us that he's going to probably go 2 to 3 possessions for each guy. So let's see what he does in this possession here.
And so Martin gets a snap again, fakes the handoff, now swings it off to the running back on the near side. That's Holmes with a catch. He'll be across midfield. He'll be tackled around the 45, close to the first down marker. And PAC will move the chains indeed. No flag there on that late tackle.
And what you like to see when you get your running back out in space like that, make somebody miss, get the extra yardage, move the chains, first down. Now they're looking they're in the plus territory.
You mentioned at the top of the show there, turnovers could be a key to this game, and right now the Lions trying to cash that first turnover into the contest. Martin, shotgun set, 3 receivers to the right side, trying to spread out that GAC front. Looks to his left, quick hitch, it's going to be high, pass intended for Wilson and incomplete.
And that's your guy, yellow gloves, the long tee. Got to come down with that. You figure he had those gloves on. We want to see you make that catch.
With every quarterback, you got to do 2 things with the football: deliver it on time and on target.
Right.
I think it was on time, just wasn't quite on target.
Nah, he almost had to climb the ladder a tad bit.
And so now double stack receivers to both sides for Martin. Running back to his left, again is Holmes. Holmes will get the carry up the middle, makes a cut, gets stopped right at the 45-yard line. Here comes the rest of that Spartan defense. We get another 3rd and long for the Lions.
And here we go once again. He has his young quarterback. Clearly trusts this guy. Probably going to put the ball in the air.
And so the go-to target for the private school to Plano, Texas is number 9, Riley Wilson. He scooped up that fumble. Has had 1 target offensively, but they come back to it again. GC's going to switch DBs in the process too, as well as Tyler McBride lined up on him. A little pump and go. Wilson's wide open, climbs the ladder and makes the catch at the 20.
Blown coverage.
Little cover 2 action there for GAC. Bride stayed down. Safety didn't rotate over.
Yes.
And the go-to target, and Riley Wilson makes a great catch and keeps the change moving for the Lions.
You never want to see a communication bust like that. When you know your corner's coming off this weak side, the safety has to get on top to make that play.
So Wilson keeps the momentum going for PAC. First down in the red zone at the 20-yard line. Can they cash it in for points? Martin hands it off to the running back. Breaks the tackle across the 15 down to the 11-yard line. And it's Randall Holmes again for positive yardage. Lions are rolling right now with 4:38 remaining in this first quarter.
And let's say this about PCA. One of the things they're doing with their play calling right now, they definitely have the defense off balance right now. The playbook is wide open with these calls inside the 20.
They have that momentum right now. Can they cash it in for points? Martin and Holmes in the backfield. Motion across the face of the formation. They give it off to Holmes again. Holmes cuts it up, finds a little seam in that defense. Lake flag comes flying in. The play stands as a first down out to the 6-yard line, but we're going to hold here for the flag.
And it is in that area where they do call holding.
So player safety is certainly a new point of emphasis for officials in high school football. We've seen probably more chop blocks called in the first 2 weeks where you engage the defender up high and your teammate comes in low. They're trying to eliminate that play altogether. Player safety still a priority here for the officials. They call a face mask against the Spartans. That'll be half the distance to the goal. And now PCA really looking to cash in that turnover for points here. First and goal from inside the 5. Triple stacks, wide receiver, inside the hash mark to the right. All by himself on the near side is Graham Hill. At the wide receiver spot. We got early motion on the right side, and one of the wide receivers of all people moved early.
Yeah, clearly was a pass play. Usually the guy who jumps at wide receiver, the ball was coming to him. He was the primary on the play, trying to get in the end zone. I understand.
You haven't been in one of those huddles with the receivers is just tugging on that quarterback's jersey going, bro, I'm open. Bro, hit me. Come on, man.
Right now.
I'm wide open.
And now he's probably looking
Whether
back
he's
at,
wide open or not.
Oh, he's always open.
Yeah, always
wide
open.
receiver's always open.
So instead of this triple stack to the far side, they go with the regular trips. On the line of scrimmage is Riley Wilson to the far side. Martin gets a snap, hands it off to Holmes. No, he pulls it out from underneath, and it's deflected by one of the pursuing linebackers for GAC. That's number 22 in Will Gary. Sophomore, 5'9", 160 pounds, got a paw on it and kept that from being 6.
Great defensive play. Nice play design for PAC. They definitely had that one set up.
So Prestonwood Christian Academy out of Plano, Texas, scored first in this contest last year at home, trying to do so again on the road a year later between two of the best private schools in the country. Holmes will get the carry up the middle, makes a man miss. Inside the 5, he'll be across the goal line. Touchdown, Lions.
Again, the counter action, or they're lining up the swinging gate.
And so the Lions are ready for this. We expected this. What is normally your traditional PAT is set up by, you want to talk about old school, the swinging gate there.
Swinging gate.
And so they'll substitute a quarterback out and bring the kicker in this circumstances.
Look who's the holder. Surprise, surprise.
I was going to say, do-it-all man himself. Riley Wilson is the holder. The kicker is the freshman and Troop O'Neal. The snap is good, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good as well. Inside 4 minutes remaining here in just the opening frame. The Lions try to repeat history with an early touchdown in the first quarter here on SUVtv's coverage of high school football in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Matt Mahoney alongside my broadcast partner, and Marcio Hurd will be joined later on by Hassan Khan, our sideline reporter. All right, we get a chance to exhale a little bit here. Might have taken some of the air out of the GAC balloon with all the excitement going on in this contest. But all things considered, you mentioned it, turnover, cashed into points, things going well so far for Chris Cunningham's squad.
With any level of football, you cannot give teams extra possessions. As PCA goes down, they punch in the counter, run out of another widespread set. The offense is rolling right now. Let's give them credit.
And so now, real decisions for Coach Cunningham. You can't feel good about yourself. Do you roll the freshman quarterback back out there for the third drive, or do you stick to what was some preconceived notions and bring your senior quarterback that's kind of with the learning curve transferring into the program?
Now, with Coach and his vast experience, I'm staying with the freshman.
Ooh, I like it.
I would stay with the freshman. But he does have a game plan. Let's see if he sticks with it. But I'm rolling with the freshman one more service.
PCA 1-0 on the season, a big 14-6 win last week against Wiley. GAC with the kickoff return here, and it'll be squandered out to about the 20-yard line. The Spartans going to try to lick some wounds here and get back on the positive side of this offense.
Now let's see if Coach Hardy can put together a drive here. Again, you give him a gift. Now your offense is back on the field. Can he dial up the right plays to get his team down the field to tie this game up?
So GAC, very big up front, has chose to run the football more than throw it.
Right.
A couple of times they have thrown it. They've had some good looks.
And here we go. He's back in his 3-wide set.
Jackson Hardy in his senior season, playing for Dad as his little brother in his sophomore year at wide receiver on the team too as well. A handoff up the middle, making a man miss. Positive yardage across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. It'll be another successful run behind that big offensive line, and this time it's Tyler Bride.
And let's see if Tyler Bride can atone for the drop pick 6 that he would have had.
And it was Bailey that fumbled the last possession, and this is, again, the 3-headed monster that rotates for the Spartans at the running back position. That's another carry for Bride. Makes a man miss. A shake and bake at the 30, trying to bounce it outside. He will break another tackle, lunge forward to about the 34. More importantly, he'll pick up the first down for the Spartans. The reason I say monster, it's not like there's a big, bruising, physical back.
Right.
But it's the type of monster that gives coaches nightmares that you got to prepare for three running backs behind this huge offensive line that has about 14 stars amongst the 5 of them in terms of college football and playing at the next level.
And, Matt, when you say that, you have 3 different backs with 3 different running styles. So each guy's going to come at you different.
And so, again, this is not even a 3rd running back. This is a 4th running back, and the freak of it all in Bryant Struthers. Actually, Hardy is going to keep it, runs right up the middle. He'll scamper forward to about the 47-yard line, gain of a solid 8 on first down for the senior quarterback.
And what I like what Coach Hardy's doing right now, that's a nice little wrinkle. He's kind of hit him outside a couple of times. Now you give your quarterback an inside zone run. He's sitting at 2nd and 2 right now.
And again, Coach Hardy pulling something out of his bag here early. This is Che Bryant Struthers, number 3. The freak of an athlete lines up at that hybrid position. He will lead the way for the running back there, who's not going to get much gain. Maybe out to the first down marker at the 44.
I want to see GAC offensive linemen kind of create a new line of scrimmage. They're so big up front, they're not getting that push right now. PCA is winning the battle in the trenches right now.
Bryant Struthers, again, senior, tight end, linebacker, rush end, running back, H-back, 6'3", 230 pounds, part of Gwinnett County Super 6. According to the Daily Post, a 40-inch vertical leap. He's also got a 4.6 40 and can pick any school that he wants to attend next year. Play action patch here with Hardy, rolling to his right side. Throws it in the near sideline and in and out of the hands of the big wide receiver for the Spartans. And I believe that's number 88, and Spencer Helms, the go-to senior wide receiver at 6'5", has had 2 balls coming out of his hands already in this first quarter.
And I don't know if that was quite a mix-up. You had your right offensive tackle. He was kind of still in his stance. I don't know if he was expecting a run, but your quarterback got outside the pocket and tried to make a pass.
So split receivers to each side here, bringing up 2nd and 10. Hardy quickly flings it out to the far side. Got a block, but a great play at that DB position, holding up his wide receiver and making the tackle. I believe that's Wilson Reed.
PCA showed a definite blitz right there. It was a good job for Hardy to get the ball out of his hands. Great job by the defensive back out there holding up the corner, holding up the receiver, so the receiver who made the catch couldn't get outside.
I had his name right, just in the wrong order. How about Reed Wilson, the junior DB, who is part of this inexperienced defensive back group for Coach Cunningham that's making a great play there. Here comes the blitz again for PCA. Hardy ready for it, out to the far side. Juggled, but caught right at the 45-yard line into PCA territory. And that'll be good for 7 to 8 yards and a first down. Slow to get up on the play as a Spartan receiver. And I think that's Zach Mixon, if I'm not mistaken. And again, he was hit right as he caught the football.
And you talked about the inexperienced defense of PCA. One thing Coach Cunningham is doing right now, he's bringing that blitz, but he's definitely still keeping everything in front of his defense.
And so this will be a pause in the action here with 67 seconds left in the first quarter. PCA does lead 7-0. They took the first turnover of the contest, cashed in a 7 play drive that covered about 60-plus yards into the end zone for a touchdown. Crossing that to pay dirt was Randall Holmes, the running back. And so here we are, just the very next possession, this one for GAC, and they've got a receiver down. And certainly a very sobering moment for both these teams who have spent quite some time together here.
Yes.
Maceo is all the way from Plano, Texas. This Lions program, more than 120 people in their travel party, jumped on a plane, landed in Atlanta yesterday. Their volleyball teams played last night. Their cheerleaders, their parents had a joint tailgate before the game started too as well. And I think the fellowship that surrounds this football game is really what makes it special, because these two teams, as much as we see the helmets and the hardware and the competitiveness and the facilities, I mean, these guys were sitting, they broke bread together yesterday.
Right,
Coaches split them up in groups of 3, made them interact with one another and kind of break some barriers. And you kind of realize you can't judge a man by the color of his jersey. You realize that he's dealing with the same things that you are just because he's from Texas and you're from Georgia. And
it's crazy you say that, Matt, because both of these coaches, it's more than football to them. They're talking about the total student athlete. And you always appreciate that when you have coaches who believe in that part of it. And that's why they're doing this job.
And so it was indeed Zach Mixon, the senior wide receiver, shaking up on the play. The good news, he'll get up and walk off under his own power. He'll head toward the training table, however. It was a first down at 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Spartans trying to answer the call to the Lions, put up 7 on them in the first quarter. Jackson Hardy in the shotgun set. 2 receivers each side. H-back to the right. Motion with the tailback and Bride. Bride will get the carry up the middle, but the Lions are ready for it. They've made an early adjustment, and Maceo, it's not necessarily the linebackers making the play in the backfield. It's the defensive line, surprisingly, that's making some tackle for losses against the running game.
And it seems like what Coach has done, Coach Cunningham has done, again, he's doing a lot of slanting. They're kind of moving right at the last second. They're figuring out they have to cover up those A-gaps. Now let's see if GAC will respond and kind of get the ball outside.
So the Spartans, 2nd and 11 here. Hardy looks to his right, comes back over to his left, got some heat, steps up in the pocket, wants to scramble. Across the 45, he'll be taken down at the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 3 or 4, and it's going to bring up another 2nd and long.
Very impressed with this PCA defense right now. I know Coach told us they were young, but they're definitely doing their job. Definitely doing their job.
And so 3rd and 6, first down marker sits at the 35-yard line for the Lions as the numbers will count down for us. You're watching SUVtv's coverage of high school football in Atlanta, Georgia. We're in the suburbs here of Norcross between the Spartans and the Lions. Greater Atlanta Christian versus Prestonwood Christian Academy. And I believe we're going to get our first timeout of the first half here as the Spartans. No, excuse me, the end of the first quarter. So, Maceo, let's revisit some of our storylines from the top of this broadcast. We talked about GAC without its top 2 receivers. Their strength is already running the football. They continue to try to run the football in this first quarter. But surprisingly, it's the defensive line for the Lions that's winning the early battle.
And we talked about that, like you talked about in our starter. PCA, with the youth on their defense, seems like Coach Cunningham is really getting these guys into buying in to play your run fit, play your gap, do your job. We hear that from the great Bill Belichick. And these guys are doing that to perfection right now. They're not giving the GAC much room to get anything done.
Some guy in Tuscaloosa is pretty good at that too as well.
Yeah.
GAC, meanwhile, on the other side, 1-1 coming into this contest with a loss over Lovett, the big powerhouse Lovett, a 30-29 score overtime loss. Not anything to be disappointed about there. Followed up with a win against Westminster last week, 19-14. They're not limping into this contest by any stretch of the imagination, but a turnover cashed into a touchdown here. The defense was winning the field position battle early. Offense trying to help them out here.
Again, every time you give teams extra possessions, it somehow comes back to bite you.
We'll start the second quarter now, 3rd and 6. Hardy rolls to his right. Got a ton of receivers that way. Heat from the backside. Steps up, looks for a man, and it'll be in and out of the hands of the intended DB.
Late flag.
And Riley Wilson. Wilson, a receiver and DB, jumped that route beautifully, intended for the GAC target of Brooks Miller. We do have a late flag on the play.
Now, we do expect him to make that catch. He does everything.
And this flag sits back in the defensive backfield for the Lions. This is normally bad news.
Right, for the defense.
For the defense. As I am staring at the white hat here, waiting for an indication. There he is. He'll step away. We're going to get holding on the defense. Once again, not a good indication for the Lions. That'll move the chains and be an automatic first down.
Had to be one of the safeties on that drag. They were running the flood. You got the deep crosser. Safety muscle was out of position a little bit. Couldn't keep his hands to himself.
And so GAC picks up a fortunate first down on a third down penalty. And so they'll bring in Brian Struthers, offensively. He will come to the left side. Hardy looks that way, looking for a screen. It's coupled up by the Lions, and Hardy's going to have to improvise here. Rolling to his right, trying to find a man, far sideline, in and out of the hands again by the receiver in Spencer Helms. That is his third drop here in this first half.
And he executed the scramble drill very well. He saw his quarterback in trouble, worked his way back, wide open, has to make that play.
And so GAC, incomplete pass will bring up 2nd and 10. They've won the field position battle, but not the turnover battle. That's the difference in the game so far, 7-0. Hardy at quarterback goes to the wide receiver slot on the right side. This will be the running back, and Tyler Bride in the snap all by himself. He'll wait for things to clear up. Now he'll accelerate forward, pick up a strong 7 yards on 2nd and 10.
It's funny when you see teams now line up in Wildcat. He's not throwing the ball. Surprised the defense gave up that much on that play.
And so again, it's been the Lions that have had the early advantage in the line of scrimmage battle, surprisingly, in this contest. And so the Spartans trying to adjust just a little bit here to that. And their first look at the Wildcats brings up 3rd and 3. Hardy back to his traditional position, receiving the shotgun snap. Two tight ends, I should say, the left side. Bride gets the snap, comes to the left side, got the first down across the 25. He'll be pushed out of bounds to the 20. Great pickup of 5 yards on 3rd and short.
Now, when PCA go back and watch this film, defensive end ran right by the running back. He got to squeeze that a little bit better, defensive end.
And so Tyler Bride, running back and defensive back for the GAC Spartans. He'll be moving on to Statesboro, Georgia Southern next season, mostly as a DB. So now we're going to get some more lingerie on the field, as Tim Hardy wants an explanation to the near side.
Pretty sure when coach is adamant like that, he wants to know what number that was so he can apply the Monday punishment that comes with most holding calls.
So what was a gain of 5 and a first down is now going to be a loss of 10 on the holding play, bringing up 3rd and 15. First down marker sits at the 24-yard line.
As offensive coordinator, not a lot of things to dial up in your playbook for 3rd and 15.
GAC, 21 seniors on this roster trying to dig deep here, down early, 7-0, a similar territory to what they found themselves in Plano, Texas. This year we're in Norcross, Georgia. There's a shotgun snap into the intended target. It's going to be caught across the 25-yard line, really close to the first down marker. Pitch and catch to Brooks Miller.
And with plays like that, I know you want to teach your receivers, get the ball, run your route to the chains. Just imagine if he runs that route 2 more steps. He has a first down.
So it brings up 4th and less than a yard. As you would imagine, Tim Hardy is going to trust those big boys up front to get them an extra 3 feet. They're going to stack the backfield here with Bride. Jackson gets the snap, goes to Bride. He's hitting the backfield by Riley Wilson. This will be super close to the first down marker here. No measurement needed. The Zebras will move the chains forward.
And again, defensive end, you want them to squeeze on that play. He just didn't get there tough enough.
The Bride tribe is sitting about 10 rows in front of us. Get to their feet.
Yes, they are.
Excited for number 4, picking up that first down to that offensive line.
Hashtag.
Friends and family for Tyler Bride in the stands.
I see it.
Supporting GAC and trying to get these Spartans into the end zone. 1st and 10. Jackson pulls it from Bride, pitches it out to the far side. Too tight of a window there. It'll be incomplete.
Now, when you have those RPOs right there that have become so popular in football today, you want to see the quarterback go ahead and hand that off. Tyler Bride ran through the offensive line very clean.
The clock will stop inside right around 10 minutes here till halftime. 7-0. The Lions lead the hometown Spartans. 3 receivers to the near side. two to the far. Bride is one of them on the far side. Hardy gets the snap quickly to the near side. In the flats, it'll be in and out of the intended target, and Brooks Miller is broken up on the play by, again, Reed Wilson. As two things, I don't know if Cunningham was being coy earlier this week, but he was concerned about his defensive line being pushed around by the Spartans. Coach, not so far here through a quarter and a half, and his second concern was how inexperienced his DBs are, and Reed Wilson has not just answered the call, he's made two great plays.
And a couple of times he's dead on in jumping those routes. Keep that up, he's going to get one.
And you also got Riley Wilson roaming the secondary too as well, that sort of hybrid outside linebacker position. Hardy gets a snap, scrambles to his left. He's going to be hit and drop. Back to about the 35-yard line. PCA with all the momentum right now, and that pushes the Spartans potentially out of field goal range too as well on that sack. Tough decision for Tim Hardy here.
And again, hard to dial up plays in third and long, putting your team in those type of situations. Again, PCA is bringing everybody on obvious pass situations.
And so this will be the punting unit for the Spartans. It'll come out. It'll be Beck Nagley, junior punter, 5'10", 185 pounds.
Oh, no, they're putting the hole down.
My goodness.
They're attempting a field goal.
So Nagley is their punter, but he is looks like he's going to attempt a long field goal here. This is a 50-yarder right in the middle of the field.
We got a timeout.
Now we get a stoppage and play. Go kick it. That's the veteran move there, is if you get the snap and the hold, go ahead and follow through with it and see if you got the leg, and that way you can help coach out.
We got to delay a game.
Now we get to delay a game, and that'll certainly put the punt unit out there.
Definitely will put the punt team out.
Now I will give Nagley credit with no holder and no rush and all the time in the world with no shoulder pads on. He was attempting 41 and 42 yarders in pregame and was made one and was really close on the other two. So that was probably his max limit there, and now the delay of game pushes it out of his range just a little bit. So this will supersede Nagley's field goal range opportunities, and this will bring out the punter and Tyler Curlin. Curlin, way long of a delivery there. Luckily gets it away, and he will pin the Lions right at the 10-yard line.
Well, they flipped the field. But I think Coach Hardy is going to feel he's going to be a little upset about not being able to cash in on that drive.
Field position works when your defense can get off the field.
Right.
So you're going to be less angry if your defense can get a stop here. If they go down and get some points before halftime, that's going to make that possession a little bit less valuable.
And let's watch PCA. Let's see if they decide to start leaning on this GAC defense.
Very true, and we'll see if that decision is made to keep the freshman in the game. This is the third possession for the Lions. Do they stick with McGuire Martin, or do they go with the transfer and Jacob Switzer? And so looks like it'll be, of course we're not doing us any favors, one wears 12, one wears 13. As a pass out to the far side, that will be the transfer, number 12, Jacob Switzer, the senior, who's been with the program just a couple of months. Swings one out to the near side. It's over the head of the intended target of the running back and Timothy Taylor. So 2 by 2 is what we were expecting of Coach Cunningham, and he sticks to that game plan.
He stayed with his word, but, you have your freshman who basically he's in the flow and the rhythm of the game, and you had your team backed up. Probably would have stuck with the freshman one more series here.
Shotgun 5 wide here. 2 of them are running backs that are split to each side. He'll motion one across the face of the formation. It is a jet sweep. Getting a carry is number 5. That's Nate Stanford. Bounce it out to the near side across the 20, and he'll be chased out of bounds right around the first down marker. About the 20, looks like they're going to spot him out at the 22, and that will move the chains and stop the clock at 8:44.
Excellent blocking on this play. Anytime you get a long running play, your outside guys, wide receivers are doing the job for you to secure the edge.
So shotgun 5 wide again, same exact formation for the senior quarterback and Jacob Switzer. Switzer calls for the ball, gets the snap, looks to his left, comes back over the middle of the field, looking for the slant route. It's going to be caught again by Stafford. Stafford will try to make a man miss, but will be taken down about the 30. It's a quick slant for a quick 6 yards.
Looks like Switzer has a rope. He let that one go.
And so according to Coach Cunningham, it was not a matter of ability or energy or effort. It was just simply a lack of knowledge and not knowing the system and not knowing the plays. And so the quicker he can learn that, he may be their every down quarterback.
You definitely saw a lot of zip ball jumps off his hand.
Second, 4th to 20. Here comes blitz for GAC. Now they back off on a run play back to Stafford. He's going to run out of gas there, and time and space. He's going to be dropped for a loss on the play.
The GAC defense, they needed a play like that. Let's see if that would energize these guys. Kind of got the crowd back into it, too.
And I'll tell you one name that I was looking forward to seeing was number 3, and Shea Bryant Struthers. Do-it-all, rover, rusher, tackler. I mean, just an absolute freak of an athlete. Really haven't said his name a whole lot. He's been in some specialty packages offensively, but again, credit Chris Cunningham's staff for keeping things out of number 3's control for GAC. Again, quick snap to the far side. It's going to be a screen to Wilson. Wilson with a catch across the first down marker, across the 40. He's going to drag a couple of defenders to midfield. That's a beautiful stalk screen to the far side and a pickup of about 22 yards on 2nd and short.
Anytime you see offenses run tonal screens, they usually like to get the ball to guys who can really work in space. He does a very good job of making people miss, and what a strong arm there at the end to finish the run.
Riley Wilson, 2-year starter, two-way players, got some choices as far as some options go in college. Indiana, Louisiana Tech, and his stock may even rise into his senior year. Another pitch and catch near side. This time it's going to be caught by Dayton Toney, the senior wide receiver. He'll be at a gain of 10 on the play, and we're going to get a moving the chains.
And here we go. The GAC defense, they had PCA pent back down in plus territory, and now they're on the move.
7 minutes to play here to the halftime horn. Double slots to each side. Running back in the backfield. As quarterback gets the snap, hands it off, bounces it out to the far side. That's going to be Timothy Taylor, tackled for, again, scrambles out to 3 or 4 yards.
He was still able to fall forward. You always want to see your running backs on contact, see if they can continue to move forward and get positive yards.
Jacob Switzer, quarterback here, commanding his troops on the 3rd offensive drive for the Lions. Coach Cunningham stuck to his guns. 2 series for the freshman. He's scheduled for 2 series for the seniors. This is his first opportunity. He has moved the chains quite well here. And last possession potentially here for halftime. Motion across the face of the formation with Toney. Toney gets a jet sweep across the 35. He'll be tripped up and taken down about the 32-yard line, about a yard short of the first down marker. Lions are clicking right now on offense.
PCA, they're doing a wonderful job of mixing the run pass. Everything is looking the same right now, and they definitely have the GAC defense a little rattled.
So 3rd and 3 as the ball sits back at the 34-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side. The one to the far side is the hero in Riley Wilson. Switzer's going to keep this snap, go to the left side. He'll have the nose of the football out to the 32, which is going to be a yard short.
And he's a big kid. He moved the power right there to end that run.
According to Coach Cunningham, Switzer just a little bit better athlete, just a little bit better arm, and certainly a little bit older too.
Right.
But knowledge of the offense has kept his playing time limited. Switzer goes under center, wants to push the pile forward. He will, and have the first down on the quarterback sneak.
And what we just talked about, he uses that big body to push the pile forward and keep the PCA offense moving.
Now running into your screen, maybe just a little bit off there, is going to be number 3 for GAC and Bryant Struthers. And keep an eye on 3 in red. Yeah, more than 30 college offers to schools that you will watch all Saturday long tomorrow, but has not committed. And so Switzer, a little RPO to the far side, hitch caught at about the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 4.
This ball jumps off Switzer's hand. He is definitely, he's kind of changed the dynamic of their offense right now.
It's got some life on it too. And so Switzer comes to the offensive coordinator on the far side. Again, it's not a hurry-up offense. It's just a no-huddle offense. So
right.
We see this very common in high school football now. Everybody's got their cheat sheet on their wrist, gets the indication from coach and the signal, and everybody's literally on the same sheet of music. 2nd and 5, a high snap, Switzer recovers. Now he's going to improvise a little bit. Flag comes flying in. He'll throw a dart over the middle of the field. This has a receiver caught at the 14-yard line. He'll rumble forward to the 10. It's a wonderful in route for about 20 yards, but hold the chains on the catch by number 17 and Carson Strogner as his first reception of the game may be nullified.
Excuse me if I continue to say this. The ball jumps off Switzer's hand. What a throw.
And so Switzer certainly has aspirations to play some college football. That was one of the reasons for his transfer to Prestonwood Christian Academy, to get some extra exposure, which we're certainly able to do that here with SUVtv.
Definitely.
But for the young man. Need to learn that offense as quick as he can, because this is what Coach Cunningham's thinking. If things don't go well with Switzer, McGuire Martin is responsible for the 7 points that's on the board right now. Certainly a luxury for the Lions.
True indeed.
So shotgun 5 wide. We saw jet sweep out of this from the Lions. A penalty will push him back to the 42-yard line. First down marker sits at the 20. They run a combo route to the near side. Switzer doesn't like it. He's going to scramble around. Got some heat as Struthers comes in, gives him a little pop. Long ball down the far sideline. It's going to be caught. Lunging for the end zone is going to be Wilson, but I think he stepped out of bounds at about the 5.
Again, scramble drill. Rules in the scramble drill. Short man go long, long man come back to your quarterback.
And so Switzer, at the end of this play, is going to get popped by Bryant Struthers. You see him come into the screen there. But he able to deliver the football down the field to his intended target that was wide open, and now the Lions are in business. 2-back set here. Counter play with the running back in Taylor. He gets outside the tackle and inside the 5, down to about the 4. Minimal pickup on 1st and goal.
Again, Switzer bringing an extra dynamic to this offense for PCA right now. He has the GAC defense right now very frustrated.
So 3:45 and counting here to the halftime horn. It was a 13-0 lead for the Lions last year in Plano Tech. It's at halftime, and they're trying to one-up themselves here with a touchdown heading into the locker room. Switzer commanding his troops. This drive started all the way back at his own 10. He's inside the GAC 10. He hands it off to the running back, and he'll double dip. Randall Holmes scores his 2nd touchdown in the first half, and just like that, PCA leads 13-0 into a quiet Norcross crowd.
Once again, long drive, defense on the field for too many plays, and that's the end result.
And so what was a flipping of the field by the GAC offense now turns into a long, sustainable drive by the Prestonwood Christian attack. Cashed it in for 6, and here's their freshman kicker, and Troop O'Neal making it 7, and he splits the sticks, and it is indeed a 14-0 lead for Prestonwood Christian Academy. Maciel, let's hit the reset button here with 3:25.
Wow.
A lot of our preconceived notions or preconceived storylines coming to this contest have done a 180.
Definitely. Again, let's go back and let's start with the missed pick 6 by Tyler Bride. That could have changed the complexion of the game.
Would have gave GAC a 7-0 lead.
Real quick, you have a fumble when you're driving that gives PCA their first score. And now when you flip the field, you have them pent. They are able to march 90 yards, play through 2 penalties, and make it 14-0.
And we don't want to seem like PCA is some massive underdog here. Last year they sent their largest signing class to the next level. They sent 10 total players to college football with places like, I don't know if you've heard of Baylor there in Texas.
Yeah.
Plays in the Big 12. There's another school named Iowa State that they sent their DB, and Vidal Edwards, and then someone in Sooner Boomer, Norman, Oklahoma, and Lincoln Riley has recruited 2 of the Lions from a year ago, Easton Reeves and Austin Stoger. Stoger's next in line to be the next NFL tight end that comes out of that factory for the Oklahoma Sooners.
And let's not forget, 2 years ago, this was a team that played for the state championship. They won the state championship, excuse me.
Correct. They've won 2 state championships in the last 4 seasons, 2015, 2017. And what's interesting, again, listening to the comments of the head coach, he said this 2016 team that lost in the semifinals was a very young, inexperienced team.
Right.
He really finds some similarities with his 2019 team, but then he followed it up. And maybe this is coach being coy. He says, I don't think we got to wait till 2020 to win a state championship with this squad.
He slid that in at the end, but we caught it.
3:18 remaining to the halftime horn. GAC looking for answers with a goose egg on the board. They're going to kick this football around, and not in a good way. I know there's soccer lines down there on the turf, but this is football with 2 O's, not football with a U.
Yes.
And the Spartans put it on the turf. Luckily, they recovered. It's a loss of 4 on the play.
Now, what Coach Hardy needs to get his team right here, just needs to put together a solid drive. Let's not play hero football. Let's put together a solid drive, and let's get something on the board going into halftime.
2nd and a long 14 here. Clock running inside 3 minutes. Split receivers to each side. Hardy gets the snap. Runs a little Statue of Liberty play here, and he's going to have some territory to run with, and that's number 4 in Monte Bailey. He's got some room to run down the left side, and he's not going to be touched. Across the 20 to 10, touchdown Spartans with a little trickeration offensively.
Again, you needed a play from your offense. Went deep in the playbook and came up with Statue of Liberty.
And so Bailey was on the right hip pocket of the quarterback in Hardy and just stood up on the snap. Hardy rolled around Bailey, snuck it in with his left hand on his belly on the right side, on the outside of Bailey's hip pocket, and he took it the distance.
Fooled the entire defense. Everybody went left, stuck out the back door, touchdown.
And so just like that, the Spartans show some signs of life, and the GAC faithful stand to their feet and have something to cheer about here with 2:34 remaining into halftime. Spartans with a little pulse here, and a much-needed one.
Let's see if that energizes the defense. The defense just came off the field from a long march and drive. Let's see if PCA can put something together, or are they content with a 14-7 lead going into the half?
Coach Hardy said he's a very process-oriented program. They're about developing spiritually, academically, and athletically. They've got a saying in the locker room that says, no labels and no limits, meaning there's no preconceived notion based on a lot of social media and culture now in today's world. It doesn't matter where you come from or who you are, or what you're about. You're a Spartan here. You're trying to develop the holistic human being and to play football and the talents given to you by the man above and play in Christ's eyes and achieve greatness is what this Spartans mantra is, with that no limits and no labels. And it's certainly something a little bit more tangible. They want to defend those 4-year-in-a-row region championship, and obviously, as you can imagine, with aspirations to win a state title.
As we look down at now the JSC sideline, very excited. You got the kickoff team. Listen, the House of Pain jump around playing right now.
They are jumping around here as the man with the big right foot for the Spartans almost had a chance to attempt a 50-yarder, but a delay of game penalty pushed him back. He put the PAT attempt through the 6, and now a kickoff attempt pins his man back inside the 5, and the Lions scramble back out to about the 27-yard line. A decent field position here for PCA with 2:26 remaining until halftime.
Now let's see if the GAC defense, did they make any adjustments to Switzer? Because Switzer is a different kind of play calling with Switzer at quarterback.
I was just getting ready to say, I wonder if Switzer, with a 7-point lead here in 2:26, I don't think you're going to see the true 2-minute offense, but if you want, if that playbook gets expanded just a little bit with the big arm from the senior quarterback.
Let's see if they get a couple of positive yards on first down. I'm looking for them to speed up the tempo just a little bit.
Switzer is a senior transfer in his second possession here as scripted. Jet sweep near side. Carry will be for the tailback lined up at that slot spot. And number 5, Nate Stadford. He's had a couple of those carries so far.
They picked up about 5, so they're not in a rush. Again, they're staying with their tempo of offense. But again, the big arm of Switzer, one flick can change the field position, definitely.
So a gain of 5 gets out to the 33-yard line. Switzer rolls to his left, cocks that arm, wants to gun it, but instead he's going to scramble, and he comes back to the middle of the field. That's a bad idea. A lot of Spartans waiting for him. He'll scramble for maybe a yard. No, excuse me, he'll scramble for a loss of 4, I should say, as the clock now runs inside 1:45.
I was looking down at the sideline. I was wondering, was Coach Hardy going to use a timeout? They're letting the clock run, so maybe, just maybe, they're good with going into the half at 14-7.
You'll see a timeout from someone after this play. If it's a first down, I think they're going to try to hurry up and get a heave and a hoe in. But if they don't get it, look for the Spartans to try to steal a possession here. Switzer swings one out to the far side. That's going to be Taylor. Taylor caught, wrestles with the sideline, and the first down marker too as well, flops to its backside at about the 37-yard line. This is going to be dangerously close. And it looks as if the Lions are going to run the punt team out there on on 4th and less than 2.
So now GAC will get the ball back. Let's see what kind of offense. Are they good at 14-7, or do they want to try to put the ball in the end zone before the half? Let's tie it up.
And so a tight bunch there with the punt. It does get off in time. Fair caught at about the 32-yard line for the Spartans. And they'll have 71 seconds remaining in this first half and find themselves down 7. Well, there's a good look at Tim Hardy, the head coach. Macia, what's he going to do?
Should be in 2-minute mode. He looked like he's very excited, him being a former quarterback. I know he wants to get a couple of chunk plays here. He's yelling at wide receivers as he heads back to the sideline. They're going to try to put the ball in the end zone.
Do you think the father and son have pitched this idea around in the backyard a time or two growing up?
A lot of late nights in the kitchen, get him out the bathroom, all of those things.
So a chance here to make a memory with Hardy looking to his left. 2 receivers on the near side. 4-man rush for the Lions. He'll scramble to his right, and he will scamper out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage as burning about 8 seconds off the clock here will bring up 2nd and 10.
He took a peek downfield, didn't see what he liked, got out of bounds. Very smart play from your quarterback.
So Spartans with a little momentum here thanks to a Statue of Liberty play and a 70-plus yard scamper by Monte Bailey puts the Spartans on the board. Can they muster up something special here to catch up into this contest? Hardy steps up in the pocket, got some greenbacks as he's wrestled down from behind. Roping him in is Javon Booten.
Quick timeout call.
As Booten, a senior offensive lineman and defensive lineman, probably hadn't said his name enough as much as he's deserved the credit going up against that hefty line for GAC. And he's also having to play two-way on the other side. Been responsible and part of this 14-point offensive performance in this first half. GAC will burn what is, I believe, their first timeout with 55 seconds remaining. They're faced with 3rd and 11.
As we get to look at the replay, you have Tyler Bride, who was out kind of like a check down. Quarterback was maybe looking to get a bigger play. Got to understand what's going on the field. Check that ball down, and let's see what Bride can get. Definitely don't want to take a sack in that situation right there.
So 55 seconds remaining here in the first half. Lions lead the Spartans 14-7. After these two teams hooked up a year ago, with the Spartans traveling to Plano, Texas, a year later, the Lions return the favor, coming to Norcross, Georgia, just outside Atlanta.
It's going to be interesting to see this play call. Are you going to go with a draw? You definitely don't want to give PCA the ball back in this situation.
So 3rd and 11, 2 receivers each side. Bailey in the backfield. Hardy steps up, looks to throw over the middle of the field, over the head of the intended target about the 40-yard line, as that was intended for Christian Alvear, who moves up in the depth chart in the absence of Zach Mixon, who left on about the 2nd offensive possession, has not returned to this contest. As a matter of fact, Zach still with his shoulder pads on and his helmet off, sitting on the bench, and with all the information now with head injuries and the big awful C word of concussions.
Can't chance it.
You wonder if that's why he is not being able to return to this contest.
Usually a football player, if he's without his helmet, he's not playing anymore.
And it's one of those things that someone took his helmet and he can't find it. And so a punt opportunity here for the Spartans. They get it off. This one's going to knuckle around the 50-yard line and take a GAC bounce inside the 40. Roll down toward the 30 as the clock ticks away at 38 seconds, and now it'll stop at 36 seconds. So PCA will get one more shot at this. The two teams have traded punts in the last 2 minutes, trying to get to that halftime locker room.
And it was interesting. Neither team really got in a traditional 2-minute offense. Looked like both teams decided, listen, we're going to play smart, we're going to play safe, not going to take any chances, do not want to turn the football over. And let's just see where we at, go in halftime, and make the necessary adjustments.
So a little bit of a conservative approach for both these coaches in their last offensive possession, as PCA will go back to the freshman in McGuire Martin. So as coy as coach was during the week, he at least has stuck to his word.
He told the truth about this one.
Shotgun,
didn't give us coach talk.
Shotgun 5 wide. Martin looks to his right, now comes back to his left, dumps it off to the far side. That's going to be caught. I believe that's Stafford again. Nope, that's going to be Taylor. Gain of minimal yardage as he gets out of bounds with 31 seconds remaining.
Again, this looks like PCA. They're good with the 14-7 halftime lead. If we can get a play, let's make one. If not, we're not going to chance it. We're not going to rush it.
2nd and 9 here. Clock stays still at 31 seconds. Martin gets a snap. Looks just like those over the middle field. Caught again by Taylor. He's going to be tackled inbounds at about the 35-yard line. Clock will run.
Good job by GAC not allowing the receiver to get out of bounds.
A couple of timeouts left for the Lions, and it looks like Chris Cunningham's just going to sit on this one as the clock starts to roll inside 15 seconds.
It looks like he's going to take him into the halftime with him, put him in his pocket, go ahead and make his necessary adjustments, get ready for the second half of football.
Not a bad idea, having traveled just under 1,000 miles on a flight just yesterday, and the whole student-athlete experience for both these teams to take a 14-7 halftime into the locker room.
Excellent first half of football. Both teams, they've kind of felt their way out now. The beauty of the high school game, which coaching staff makes the necessary adjustments to get their team to win in the second half.
Well, the Lions were headed to the locker room, as were the Spartans. We're headed to the Hoover Fieldhouse to our left, and I believe the Lions burnt their last time out with 3 seconds left. So
interesting.
Don't head to the hot dog line just yet. Or if you do, pick me one up.
Get an early jump
on your way back. And so they want one more crack at this with 3 seconds remaining. Again, it's 3rd and 5 with the first down marker at the 40. I don't think they're looking for 5 yards here. They're looking for 65 yards here.
Yeah, interesting. And look who they brought back in at quarterback.
So they bring Switzer in here.
So maybe they're going to heave one.
Yep. Spartans are ready for it. Their 4 DBs drop back to their own 40-yard line. Switzer gets a snap. Here comes some heat. He'll step up in the pocket. Gets rid of one man. Now scrambles to his left, dumps it off to Timothy Taylor, who can't make the play as the clock didn't start on the board, but they're going to run this one out. Yeah, that'll be the halftime horn there.
And now you can go get that hot dog.
Yeah, absolutely. The Spartans will head to the Hoover Fieldhouse to the left side, and the Lions will head over to the right. And we've got a halftime score here from Norcross. 14 for the Prestonwood Christian Academy Lions. Meanwhile, the Greater Atlanta Christian Spartans with 7 here. Matt Mahoney and Hassan Khan, our sideline reporter, who we'll talk with momentarily here, as Marcio Hurd and myself up here in the press box. And we'll give you some first half breakdown here. Marcio, we talked about it, revisiting some of those pregame stories, but quite a flipping of the script here by PCA. I don't know what Vegas had as a favorite or an underdog in this contest, and whatever it was a very low line. I'll give them credit for that.
Right.
I don't think there was a heavy favorite with any stretch of the imagination, but the Spartans' game plan was to run between those 2 5-star tackles that they got, but the Lions have got the better of the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
It's funny, we talk about recruiting, we talk about stars all the time. Can your 5 stars play like 5 stars every week? One of the things Coach Cunningham acknowledged that he talked about, they're just going to come out and they're going to play football. Again, we have state of Georgia, state of Texas, 2 teams, 2 states that love the game of football. Mono a mono, best man wins.
And these 2 teams, very successful in their own right. For Prestonwood Christian, have won 2 state championships at the highest private college level in Texas in 2015 and 2017. Meanwhile, the Spartans' history finds himself quite similar success, but without the ring. They've been to 4 of the last 5 semifinals or state championships here at the private level in Georgia. And what's fascinating about both these coaches and both these administrations is finding common denominators with, listen, we could play the same old teams that want to play us, and whoever they are and whoever we are.
Right.
But until you get into district or district play for Texas, region play for Georgia, this is a way to mix things up a little bit. This is a way to provide some national spotlight to your program. This is a way to provide an experience that maybe some of your competitors aren't able to do.
And it's funny, talking to Coach Cunningham earlier in the week, he talked about how his team, they played IMG. Didn't want to do a home-and-home type deal, but the fact that they were willing, private school-wise, to make that trip to play that game tells you all you need to know about their program.
The Lions are no stranger to playing tough opponents from an out-of-a-box schedule type situation. They've had plenty of overnight trips, but this is the first time for the Lions that they've scheduled a flight and a long-distance trip. And again, they've made it a holistic approach. They brought their cheerleaders and their volleyball team. GAC and PCA played last night a volleyball game. Their administrators shadowed each other today, shared some similar ideas. There was a joint parent tailgate before this game start, and both these schools believing in using their time, their talents, and their treasures to honor our Lord Jesus Christ brings that common denominator for these two teams. And GAC is now, this is the second time they've done this. They went to Denver, Colorado back in 2016, where they took on Valor Christian. They returned the favor in 2017, 2018. They go to Prestonwood, Texas to take on this Prestonwood Christian team. They've returned the favor, and Coach Hardy said it. This has been a phenomenal experience for 4 years now, and they're looking to continue to do that in 2020. So anybody out there that has similar values and vision for your private high school football team, give Coach Hardy and the Spartans a call.
And the beauty of both of these schools, they're willing to play anybody, anywhere, regardless of classification. You can't beat that. A lot of times private school gets the knock on, oh, they just play in their own little bubble. These are two schools that are willing to put it on the line, and they will come to play you.
And I think that's perception. The reality of this situation is Coach Cunningham said it. He goes, a team like GAC was the best team we had played all last year until the state semifinals. So it's not a matter of, hey, pat ourselves on the back, here's all the wonderful things we can do. Their toughest opponent doesn't need to be in December. This contest tonight needs to prepare you to win a state championship a couple months from now. So you put some talented players and some stars out there on the field, and now you have a chance to evaluate, okay, this is where we can really get better, because if you're mowing over small public schools, or even you really don't want to play similar private schools because you could see them later on in the playoffs, this is a really good indication of where you're at this season right now for your team to make improvements going forward.
In games like this, we call it region. Let's say they talk about district.
Yep.
You want to play these type of games before you get into your region. You find out what kind of team you have, and like you just said, Matt, these games get you ready for December, where state championships are won.
And yeah, not November in the playoffs. December is where these two programs play for sure. And again, we want to thank all of our followers and listeners and viewers here on SUVtv. The best high school football coverage you can get in and around the Atlanta area comes from SUVtv. Give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram. Visit our website, thesuvtv.com. That's where you'll be able to watch today's action. They've got 3 events going on simultaneously, and so we're just certainly happy to have this one here for you between Greater Atlanta Christian and Prestonwood Christian as well. I want to thank the fine folks at the Gwinnett Football Report. We're here in Gwinnett County, a suburb of Atlanta, and Maceo, the Gwinnett Football Report is on to something special here, as you know.
Definitely.
13 high schools in this county alone, with over 100 prep players coming from this county, will play tomorrow on television, according to the Gwinnett Daily Post.
Anytime, if you know anything about recruiting, any recruiter that comes through this state is definitely going to make a stop through Gwinnett County. Plenty of talent to pick up here.
I mean, you can go to Derek Brown from Lear High School, one of the best premier defensive linemen for the Auburn Tigers. You can go down the road to Georgia Tech, to Georgia State, to the other down the road to Athens and UGA. The Spartans have sent two players. Ty James is a wide receiver there that's going to be playing for Georgia. Recently just graduated was Darius Slayton from Auburn, graduated from Auburn, drafted by the New York Giants. Came from this program right here in Greater Atlanta Christian. They put 10 guys in Power 5 schools last year, did GAC. They've got Chris Hinton, the older brother of Miles.
Yes.
Probably one of the more prouder stories for Tim Hardy that he said earlier this week, as he has the 2 captains of the Navy football team came from GAC, and Paul Crothers and Ford Higgins. So congratulations to not only Coach Hardy, but those 2 young men, because that is a whole different student-athlete experience there in Annapolis, Maryland.
And it's crazy to become, I don't think people understand, to become a captain of your football team. That's not something that's given.
No.
That's earned.
At Navy, by the way.
Definitely. And for your teammates, for everybody to say, you are the leader of our program, you can't beat it. Again, shout out to Gwinnett County football, continuing the tradition of putting guys in school at the next level.
And so here in Norcross, it's fellowship surrounding football, a halftime score of 14-7. Greater Atlanta Christian, the home team in their home opener, trails Prestonwood Christian Lions here at the halftime horn. Folks, we'll let you guys take a break, step aside, head to the refrigerator, refill that cup, find you a hot dog. We're going to let Macio hit the hot dog stand too as well, and we'll be back here. Check back in with us about 5 or 6 minutes. We'll hear from San Khan on the sidelines too as well. You're watching SUVtv's coverage of high school football in Atlanta, Georgia.
What is it about some places? The places where we feel a sense of fellowship, where service is of the highest priority, whether to each other or to ourselves. A journey familiar like a warm bath for the soul. Along the way we may get lost, but we always seem to find a friendly hand reaching out, guiding us the way back there, where we owe it to our younger selves, just to feel like we're getting a little bit better at us. This place will always be there for you. This place is sacred, because this place is home.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have launched the Gwinnett Football Report. My name is Hassan Khan. I'm one of the driving forces behind Gwinnett Football Report, or simply GFR. We believe that Gwinnett County is one of the best counties in the nation, and we'll be covering everything football in the land of plenty. That includes interviews with players, coaches, social media content, power rankings, and so much more. So whether you're a current player at a Gwinnett high school, or your kids play, or even if you just grew up in Gwinnett, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Just search for Gwinnett Football Report and you'll find us. And we're excited for the 2019 football season.
wide receiver core that's missing two of their top receivers has not given the coaching staff confidence that they can throw the football, so that will be important. For PAC, it's not a momentum thing. It's an X's and O's thing. It's an effort thing.
Right.
What can you do to keep things going if you're Coach Cunningham?
The thing that Coach Cunningham, his two-quarterback system has worked. Each guy does two different things. Can he continue to implement those things that they do well into his game plan and make their 1,000-mile ride back a success?
Beck Nagley strikes with his right foot right at the goal line. It'll be caught by the Lions and pushed out of about the 10 and the 15 yards, and an immediate hip and drop by the initial Spartan down the field, making a nice play. That's number 15, Joseph Rose, first on the scene to providing support.
And here we go with PCA. They have to decide who's going to be a quarterback, see if the 2-and-2 thing still works.
If we go back to the original schedule, we should see the freshman.
We should see the freshman.
In McGuire Martin. He got the first two series. Jacob Switzer got the last two series. And we would go to our fifth series offensively here with Martin.
And the freshman is in.
And it is indeed number 13, the freshman. Has been a part of this middle school development program for PCA for a number of years now. Knows the offense quite well. And certainly the future is bright with him at the helm for the Lions.
Anytime you can roll a ninth grade out and get varsity reps, nothing but a positive for your program.
So it'll be a handoff here up the middle with room to run. Will be Holmes. He'll cut up the middle and have a gain of about 7 yards, close to the first down marker, which sits at the 27. It was Holmes with 2 touchdowns in the first half that represents PCA scores on the board.
Now let's see if Coach Cunningham is going to definitely go with his running game to grind his clock down and get out of here with a win.
And so 2nd and 3 now. Martin in the shotgun set, looks to the left side, pitch and catch. It's caught by Wilson. He'll have the first down, breaks the tackle, and more to the 35-yard line. Run out of bounds about the 37. Solid pickup of 10 on 2nd and short from the big receiver and the go-to Riley Wilson.
The more I see of this Riley kid, definite gamer, big-time football player.
I like the word choice there, football player. He's not stuck at a DB or a nickel or a hybrid position or a wide receiver, football player, and that's why places like Bloomington, Indiana, and Shreveport, Louisiana love him.
Hey, the more you can do.
And so, draw play up the middle again. This is Holmes. He's tackled for positive yards, but not quite the gain. It's a carry of 2, and he'll bring up 2nd long.
Got to come out the game because of that helmet. Helmet rule, GHSA, major.
So Will Calhoun, junior defensive lineman, comes out of the game, get a quick rest, and certainly be back in there. He's part of this defensive line and this offensive line that needs to win the battle in the trenches that the Lions have taken over in the first half. 2nd 9. Martin, shotgun set. JC brings blitz, man-to-man defense. A lob over the left side, and it'll be intended for Wilson, but it's out of play for an incomplete pass.
And again, when we talk about the difference in the 2 quarterbacks, the ball kind of floats out of the freshman hand, whereas when Switzer comes in, he's throwing darts.
And so after initial 2nd down conversion to move the chains, it'll now bring up 3rd and 9, and GAC, this is the stop that you were looking for. 3rd and 9, first down marker is the 47. Martin rolls to his right, got some heat, throws it near sideline. It'll be in and out of the hands of the smaller target intended for Stafford. Had it dialed up pretty well, but just couldn't quite haul it in, and so the Lions will be forced to punt.
That is the defensive stop that you need to start the quarter. Now let's see if your offense can come in and see what halftime adjustments those guys made and can see if they can tie this game up.
And so back deep to receive for the Spartans will be Brooks Miller. He stands at the zone 30. It's a low rolling snap. It's between the legs of the punter. It's loose back inside the 10. Can he get it off? He will not. He'll be chased down back inside the 10. It was a low snap. It went right through the wickets of the punter. And Diego Camarena and the Spartans get their first turnover of the contest.
There we go. Start the quarter. Big word that we like to use, turnover. Not a good play right there. Long snapper's probably going to get a nice conversation piece when he gets to the sideline.
And by the way, the man coming in to rush the punter might have had his head up just a little bit is the 5-star offensive lineman and Miles Hinton on the punt team getting in there trying to block a punt to use that 6'6" frame.
One thing that I've noticed about Miles Hinton today, active. on both sides of the football.
Time to turn that dial right now if you're GAC. Down 7, 10:36 remaining in the third quarter. They hand it off to Bride. Bride up the middle. He'll move forward inside the 5. The pile will get pushed, but forward momentum stops at about the 3.
Now, on that particular player, I want to see the red jerseys man on man and continue. They were behind the running back. Need you in front of the running back so the running back can fall into the end zone.
That's exactly who we're highlighting there. Those big boys up front who got challenged in the first half and maybe even challenged by Coach at halftime. PCA had won the line of scrimmage in the first half. Can GAC try to catch some of that momentum back and tie this ball game up? Bride with another carry off to the right side, pushes that pile close to the goal line. He'll be just a bit short on the right side of that line.
And again, when Coach does film study on Monday or Tuesday, he's going to have to definitely show his offensive lineman, I need man on man, and I need you driving those guys, not 2 guys. I need all 5 guys in the end zone pushing.
Addison Nichols, a future 5-star sophomore. On the right side, they chose to run behind him. I haven't heard too many offensive linemen call for the football here, but I think if I'm Miles Hinton, I say, hey, Coach,
come behind me.
Find me and we'll do this. Bride straight up the middle here. Closest point to the end zone. Finds pay dirt, and it's a touchdown for the Spartans.
Here we go. Points off turnovers. Big part of a football game. You cannot turn the football over. And here we go. GAC cashes in to start the third quarter. May have a tie ball game. PAT pending.
Heavy set there. Look at Hinton there. Moves to right guard. He goes right next to the other 5-star future tackle and Nichols, and they run right behind them both. A big set.
Cave it down, wash it out, touchdown.
And again, Hinton, normally your left tackle, they move him to right guard, and they push that pile into the end zone. A high snap. The hold is down, and a field goal pushed between the uprights as the PAT attempt is good for the GAC kicker. And number 41, Beck Negley.
All things going well for GAC to open the quarter. You probably couldn't draw it up even any better than that.
So first, maybe not the first gut check of the season. That came for GAC back in the opener when he went to Lovett, lost in overtime 30-29. I can only imagine what those 21 seniors would look like if they start their first 3 games of the season at 1-2.
And it's funny you talk about the senior season. I don't think people understand when you are a senior. For some who are going to get the opportunity to play football at the next level, it's going to be a few of the guys. This is the last time you're going to put it on. And that's just the reality of playing high school football.
And again, a lot of these guys have opportunities to play in college football, but not all of them.
Right.
And I can assure you all of them treasure this season, especially those 21 seniors that are trying to make something special and bring a state championship to this campus that most desperately wants to have it here at Hoover Fieldhouse. Another high kick here by Negley, and that'll roll into the end zone and a touchback for GAC. We'll have a Lions possession starting at their own 20.
Here we go. The energy for the GAC defense should be very high now. Let's see if PCA can come back with tempo, put together a nice drive. They showed the ability to drive the football long, short, great play calling. Let's see what they can do.
And so for the first time since about the second possession of this contest, this home opener and the home crown is injected back into this contest with a tie ball game at 14-14. 9:25 remaining in the third quarter here, as PCA will go back to the freshman quarterback for a second consecutive possession, and McGuire Martin. Martin gets the snap, hands it off to Taylor. Taylor up the middle is going to be hit and dropped. I believe the defensive line for GAC got the message at halftime. Both units on the line of scrimmage have stepped up here in just a couple of minutes in the third quarter.
You can tell the coaches basically told I call them big athletes up front. Big athletes, you have to make plays. Games are won and lost in the trenches. It's just part of football.
Martin, shotgun set, 2 receivers each side. Taylor to his left, wants to roll that way. Pitch and catch, far side, caught by Wilson initially. Ball comes out, and they'll roll incomplete. This will bring up 3rd and long for the Lions.
Here we go, back-to-back possessions that PCA in 3rd and long situations kind of abandoning the run. I'm kind of shocked by that. With that big offensive line that they have, they're doing more pass blocking than run blocking.
Evan Bird with a pass breakup there against Riley Wilson, who's got the better of that matchup in that first half for the Lions. Now brings up 3rd and 9. McGuire, Martin, the freshman. Motion across his face, looks to his left, one-on-one coverage, looking for his go-to man in Wilson. He throws it out of bounds. Again, that's that matchup again with Boyd and Wilson on that far side. Two of the better athletes on both programs going toe-to-toe in man-to-man coverage, but Martin just didn't lead him for a ball in bounds.
And again, I'm shocked with the play caller from PCA. With your freshman in, I thought they would rely a little more heavily on the run. He not quite the throw of the football that Switzer is.
So punt opportunity, the second one of this half for PCA. Again, it's Diego Camarena, who let the snap go between his legs the first time, catches this one a little bit more secure and lets it fly. Low line drive, hits it to 50, takes the line bounce inside the 40, and it's going to roll really close to the 30-yard line. And a fortunate punt there for PCA to somewhat change the field position here.
Your punt returner can't let the ball hit and actually pick up 20 more yards. It's gonna be a conversation piece on the sideline. Definite conversation piece.
And so now GAC, well, the man down right on top of the logo in midfield. A little bit of cramping. Again, a warm night, but Macio, you know as well as I do, we've had some extenuating heat here in Atlanta over the month of August. We got a little bit of relief last week. Still hot nonetheless, but not nearly as hot as it was during training camp and preseason and week one for both these teams.
Right. Mother Nature did us a favor. She gave us 85-degree weather as opposed to 105. We thank you, Mother Nature. But for these kids, hydration all week. You just can't hydrate on Thursday thinking that you're going to be good on Friday. I'm going to drink water Friday morning. Have to hydrate all week.
You quoting Willie Taggart there?
No, definitely not quoting Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart right now, he needs to cancel press conferences and just get his team to play football.
Very true. So the young man for the Spartans able to get to his feet. That's number 22 in Will Garrett. We don't think that's anything remotely close to a head injury is what the wide receiver, Zach Mixon, has been held out of this contest as a result of. We just think there, number 22 in Will Garrett, a little cramp there. He'll walk off, get some fluids in him, and try to get back out there on that special teams unit. In the meantime, GAC will take over on offense from their own 33-yard line, 1st and 10, 8:40 remaining in the third quarter. Motion across the face of the formation here. Low snap to Hardy. He'll pick it up, hand it off to Bride. Bride off to the right side. Positive yardage outside the tackles there, and he'll get out to about the 38-yard line. Again, a 5 on first down.
Now, what we're starting to see with GAC looks like they're going to commit to the running game. Always a positive. Get your big guys up front, get them going forward, start leaning on the visitors.
So Tyler Bride, been recruited and committed to Georgia Southern. Wants to go to Statesboro. Is going to more likely play DB, but getting the bulk of the carries here in the second half on offense. Bride again off to the left side. He'll be taken down for no gain on the play. And a great defensive effort, I believe, by the middle linebacker there. And I believe it's number 40 there, and Walker Lunsford.
I always kind of, even though I'm like a fashion guy, when you see the players, they're wearing all the extra tights and things, that goes to your condition as well. You're sweating, it's trapping the sweat. I want to see these guys sometimes let your legs feel free.
So third, and we'll call it 6. First down marker sits at the 43. Already in a shotgun set, 2 receivers to the right, 8 back to that side as well. He looks that way, double slants, he goes to the inside run, it's picked off! Sticky hands for Riley Wilson, he's headed to the end zone. PCA, pick 6, touchdown for the Lions.
We're going to say this one more time.
No, we don't have, we can say it a lot more times.
Not surprised by who made that play.
Riley Wilson, 2-year starter on both sides of the ball in his senior season, has made the long flight from Plano, Texas to Norcross, Georgia, and has cashed it in for a pick 6 and something he will remember for quite some time. And just like that, the Lions not only back on top, but with momentum as well.
As you look at the replay, Hardy couldn't step into that throw. Riley, Johnny on the spot, pick 6. Again, how many plays has this kid made tonight?
Randall Holmes had the 2 rushing touchdowns for the Lions in the first half, as Riley has made some huge plays in the secondary. He's made some huge plays converting third downs in the receiving side of the field. And now with the pick 6, he'll put the hold down, and squeezing it over the bar will be the kicker, the freshman, and Troop O'Neal, to give the PCA Lions a 21-10 20-14 lead here in the third quarter.
What a throwback kid. Gotta love everything about this game. College scouts have to just watch the film on this kid, and you have to be impressed by what you see.
It's interesting. 6'1", pushing 200 pounds, athletic, sort of the mid-major, lower-level Power 5 schools are on him, Indiana, Louisiana Tech, and you could probably say there's guys built similar who are faster or guys that are just as fast that are bigger. But still, you said it earlier, he's a football player.
Football player, playmaker. You can't put a premium on kids who continuously make plays. A guy like this, I guarantee if you cut his film on, that's all you see. Playmaking ability like that. Love what I'm seeing from this kid.
And how many times do you hear coaches say, I want guys that play hard, that can play multiple positions, that play multiple sports, that are football players. You hear it all the time. I wish, and I guarantee you, wherever it's Chris Cunningham or the coach at the next level, they're going to make statements like, I wish I had 11 Riley Wilsons out there on the field.
I mean, this kid, he's a kid that just jumps out on film. Definitely one for his highlight tape tonight.
So now PCA will try to take that air out of this balloon here in Norcross again. Kickoff that's going to be fielded at 15 and drop, now jumped on at the 20. And so the Lions, just when the Spartans were starting to get some momentum, pick 6 and now a fumbled kickoff. PCA feeling good about themselves again with 7:13 remaining.
I would like to see GAC go back to this running game. Line up, get behind your 5-star tackles, run the football.
And again, amongst those 5 offensive linemen that are trotting out there, they share about 14 stars amongst the 5 of them. Of guys that are playing ball at the next level, they're booked in by a couple of tackles. One a part of the 2019 signee class, another in the 2021 signee. A couple of interior linemen that will find their ways those Saturdays playing football as well. Already a little mix up there on the handoff. He's going to have to keep it. He gets forward maybe a yard or two. And just a little bit unorganized is this GAC offensive right now, trying to turn the tide of this contest again.
Again, and this is where you want to see a kid like Hinton basically kind of look at the offense and like, listen, come behind me. Let's run the football.
He's certainly the Renaissance man. One of his teachers here at GAC calls him the best artist, as in stroke of the brush and ability to create on a canvas, the best she's ever seen. And again, he wants to major in biology at Stanford. And so, swing out to the far side, Hardy connects the receiver and Miller. And so Hinton may not be that loud, outspoken emotion leader that kind of comes with that 5-star moniker. But Coach Hardy told a great story to us earlier this week that Hinton went on his official visit to Stanford, and they were hosting Oregon a season ago. Oregon State, excuse me, not Oregon, it was Oregon State. And, 50,000 seat stadium there at Stanford. And Coach Hardy turned it on his television and realized Stanford was blowing them out. And there wasn't 20,000 people in the stands of this 50,000 seat stadium. And Coach Hardy thought, oh, no, that's not going to be good. Miles might not like that.
Right.
Not a lot of people turn out for the games on Saturday or whatever. And called him the next day, and Miles said, Coach had a great time. It was the best time ever. This is where I want to go to school. And so the Renaissance man that the Gwinnett Daily Post Super 6 kind of pinned on number 78 certainly fits the mold and what he's about. He's a different kid. He's a very abstract kid, and I mean this in the most positive sense I can possibly make, that he's wired a little differently, and it makes sense that a 5-star kid at GAC wants to go further his education at a place like Stanford and have the ability to play football too as well.
I mean, cream of the crop. A degree from Stanford. We talk about the total student athlete. Man, what better place to get your degree?
Helps a little bit too. He's got a former teammate in Davis Mills that has also made the trek from Norcross out to Northern California too as well. Davis with a chance to start tomorrow.
Could get the start
for the Stanford Cardinals as KJ Costello is still hampering a head injury there. So I believe a redshirt sophomore. For the Stanford Cardinals, the quarterback, could get the start tomorrow versus some school out of Southern California that you may have heard of called USC.
Yeah, on the other side of it. Not the Hollywood Trojans
nope.
that we were used to in the early 2000s.
So, big moment, big weekend for the fine folks of Spartan Faithful. But here tonight and now, the Lions have the lead 21-14 and the football. They go back to the senior transfer quarterback, and Jacob Switzer right on schedule. First and 10 from his own 40. Gets the high snap, hands it off to Holmes. Holmes bounces it off to the left side again. Minimal yardage here, as now it just seems, Macio, that both defensive lines have taken over here in this second half.
Without a doubt. And now what we want to see from PCA, does the dynamic of the play calling change? Because, again, we have Switzer in who can just, he can zip the ball. He can get the ball in spaces that I don't think the freshman could.
And so 2nd and 9. For the Lions, motioned across the face of the formation here. Switzer's going to keep it. Breaks the initial tackle. He's got some room to run. He'll have the first down and more into Spartan territory at the 45-yard line. It's a quick pickup of 14 yards.
And it's crazy because when we look at the dynamic of freshman body versus senior body, these are the things that older, stronger athletes can do. This is just a great run, a call quarterback draw. And, he barrels ahead for 14, 15 yards.
First and 10 from the Spartan 46-yard line. Switzer gets the snap, swings it out to the near side. Got a catch made and a great stiff arm across the 40. He'll be rolled out of bounds close to the first down marker, but a great catch and a great display of athletic ability by Dayton Toney.
And, again, you talk about a throw out front, getting his receiver the ball where the receiver's getting upfield. Just a dart he's throwing outside.
So a solid pickup of 6, moves the chain or get the marker down to the 40. 2nd and 4. Switzer, shotgun set, 2 receivers each side, tailback to his right. He will keep it himself again, a look up the middle, makes a move across to the 35-yard line, first down to the 29-yard line. And again, same play to the left we see now to the right, and a pickup of 10 or more yards.
And again, PCA, they're getting their offensive linemen involved in the game. They're starting to say, let's lean on GAC.
And here we thought that was going to be the game plan for GAC against PCA.
Right.
And now the Spartans are getting a dose of their own medicine. Packed house here in Norcross. Watching the Lions drive down the field. Switzer looks to his left, steps up in the pocket, trying to find some open space. Across the 30, across the 35, will two-step his man out of bounds at about the 20, and it's a makeshift broken play for 7.
Again, putting the ball in the quarterback's hand, letting him control the tempo of this game. And now the offense is rolling once again for PCA.
And I think this is a great indication for the positives and negatives for Jacob Switzer. Because if he doesn't quite understand the routes and the offense, that's why he's having to scramble. That's the negative. The positive, his negative plays go for 7 yards. 2nd and a short 3 here. Shotgun 5 wide, trip to the left side. Wide side of the field, motion across with Toney. And now we get a stoppage in play here, and I believe a timeout called. We're going to say Chris Cunningham, but between you and I, Macio, and of course no one's watching right now, the press box next to us with the PCA coaches were calling for that timeout.
They were.
All the way up here.
And it's funny, Matt, you just talked about how one of the things Coach Cunningham talked about, Switzer don't quite know the plays, and clearly they were in a formation, and that motion didn't match up with what they were calling. Like I said, we're right next to the coaching staff, and they're screaming. That's not what we want.
Correct. And so, again, that learning curve for Switzer, it could take, they're in week 2 now for Texas high school football, could take 2 weeks, 2 months. Who knows how long, but clearly we've seen the athletic ability and the talents that Switzer has a little bit of advantage over the freshman McGuire Martin, but it's that lack of knowledge and that learning curve that's going to keep Switzer in that sort of two-man battle right now.
And I'm going to keep an eye on Martin, because I promise you he's watching this, and this time next year he will definitely be stronger, and he will definitely be faster.
He'll be the man.
Definitely.
And so we still, we're going to go up here with 2nd and 2.
They're still in the wrong formation out of a timeout.
And the only reason we know that is we're sitting next to the coaching staff over here, so we apologize if you guys hear something you're not wanting to. But a handoff here to Holmes. Holmes going to try to bounce it out. JC wants to stretch it out, and Holmes is going to have the first down and more inside the 10, tight-roping the far sideline, and he is in. Touchdown Lions. Holmes with a triple factor here in today's contest.
He just went for the hat trick. I'm going to tell you what's funny about this, Matt. This play is not designed to do what they just did. This play should have went right. He bounced it all the way left, but they're coming back. Hold up on that hat trick.
And so Holmes does indeed stay in bounds on the far sideline. But it looks like we're going to have a flag of some sort that's going to bring this back. Hopefully the white hat can clarify this for us, as they're going to call holding against the Lions. So what? You're absolutely right. We'll see. They're going to have to hold on to the hat trick here for Holmes.
Yeah, and again, the play, wrong formation, and the play was not designed to go left, ladies and gentlemen. And again, we know that because we're right next to the coaching staff as they scream about the formation.
The holding happened downfield. That's fortunate enough for the Lions. It brings up 2nd and 8 back to the 28. Switzer looks to his left, little hitch route, stop right at the 20, which is the first down marker, but beyond the intended target. And Riley Wilson just closer to the numbers than Switzer initially thought. And again, Switzer and Riley on paper and on PlayStation, you would think these two are dangerous, but they've only been playing for a couple of months and they're just not on the same page.
And Coach Cunningham probably wants to wonder, where was this kid in January? Why did you wait so late to decide to transfer in?
And so now it's 3rd and 8. Split receivers to each side. Tailback to Switzer's left. Gets a snap. Looks to his right. Starting to scramble. Got some heat. Lets it float near side. It's going to be caught at the 20 and rolled out of bounds at about the 18-yard line, close to the first down marker. Catch will be made by Strogner, but we get another flag. This one's in the backfield for GAC.
A lot of laundry on the ground on this drive here.
So I believe this is going to be offensive pass interference or defensive holding off the ball. If we run that first replay back, the slot receiver kind of gets tied up with the DB a little bit there. Here we go, right there on the right side of your screen there. Again,
yeah, something going on.
That's a legal receiver downfield that's tied up with a DB.
Something
for a pass that's not intended for him, and so that's going to be offensive pass interference.
Replay 3rd down.
Again, that might have been, I don't want to incorrectly charge Dayton Tony, but I think he's about the only one that
may have been the culprit on that.
Fit the description.
I think you're right on that, Matt.
And so now after an offensive holding penalty and an offensive pass interference, this is going to push the Lions way back toward midfield. Ball is spotted at the 42-yard line, and the first down marker sits at the 19. 3rd and a bus ride, maybe even a plane ride for this team out of Plano.
3rd in Texas.
There you go. That was a good one.
Definitely.
Motion across, brings trips to the near side. Switzer's got certainly the arm. He goes over the middle of the field. He's got a man. It's going to be caught right at the 20. Tries to cut back. He'll go back to the outside. He'll have the first down. Stiff arm at the 10, at the 5. Lunges for the end zone. Out of bounds early. Nate Stanford on the post route from the slot spot. Finds some green grass, the pigskin, a first down and more for the Lions.
Again, great route, an even better throw. Beat the safety, and now you have your playmaker make a play.
Lions trying to play quickly here. 2 receivers to each side. GAC's trying to get the defensive personnel on the field. Switzer under center. Tight formation here. At the 2, he'll get the snap. Bobble it, and I think GAC recovers it. Flag on the play, however, as it was motion all over the place in the interior line. Lions, again, were trying to run a quick quarterback sneak with Switzer. Switzer maybe not ready for something of that mentally. Fumbled the snap, but luckily the Lions get a second chance with a false start from the left guard.
And it's crazy. It's almost funny to see quarterbacks under center nowadays, and the kids work more shotgun snap than they work under center. So a lot of times you almost have to reteach guys how to take snap from center.
And so the flag was false start, and PCA will catch a break. It moves him back to the 7, 1st and goal still. Switzer gets a snap, hands it off to Holmes. Holmes hit and dropped in the backfield. And a great play by number 88 and Spencer Helms, who's had a tough day at the wide receiver position, but coming from that linebacker spot, scrapes across the formation and makes a great play, and Holmes is down. And the international sign of cramping here for Holmes comes from that sort of defensive end outside linebacker position.
Great play by the GAC defense. Again, I think they would much rather have the fumble that was given back to PCA on the false start.
And so now with the injury break here, clock will stop at 3:13 in the 3rd quarter. Prestonwood Christian Academy out of Plano, Texas, a suburb just north of Dallas. And it's interestingly enough about the distance from Plano, Texas to downtown Dallas, and the distance from Norcross to downtown Atlanta is about exactly the same for these two campus communities.
And it probably has the same exact traffic.
I thought you were going to say facilities. Which that is true too as well.
That is true as well.
And so Chris Cunningham, before the game, I asked him if he's been able to survive the Atlanta traffic, and he goes, just when we thought we figured it out last night, yesterday they went into the city to go to the College Football Hall of Fame in downtown Atlanta, which I highly recommend if anyone's in the neighborhood and needs something to do. It's absolutely awesome. And coming back to the hotel, they were fine and thought they had things figured out. They had a walkthrough yesterday morning, but coming back to the dinner, they said from the hotel to GAC last night took them twice as long what it did the morning of the walkthrough, and said he had to call Coach Hardy a couple times, apologize. We're on our way, but we're stuck in traffic on the bus. And Coach Hardy with a smile says, I know how it is, and take your time, and y'all be safe to get here. And so part of that fellowship around football was that dinner, that barbecue dinner last night hosted by GAC, which intermingled all of these athletes out there on the field at the respective tables before the volleyball match.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Yep. So Switzer here, posting to the far sideline against the trips, and he hops it short to Stadford. So an incomplete pass on second down will bring up 3rd and goal.
I mean, that's one of those elite quarterback pass plays. You got your right-handed quarterback sprinting out left, and you're asking him to throw across his body. That's for Aaron Rodgers and those guys.
It's interesting listening to a guy like Patrick Mahomes talk about his different arm angles, and he got it from playing baseball, and that's exactly what they're talking about right there. Switzer delivers that traditional over-the-arm angle with football.
Right.
That's what happens when you deliver it short like that. Now Switzer will throw it to the end zone, intended for Wilson. Man-to-man on the far side with Boyd. Wilson will have it. Touchdown, Lions.
I mean, what more can we say about this kid? What more can we say?
So Randall Holmes with 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. Here in the second half, it's the wide receiver and outside linebacker Riley Wilson with 2 touchdowns, one offensively, the other defensively. Both receptions, a touchdown, and a pick 6.
And again, DB he's in good position, but again, you have a playmaker making a play.
PAT is no good, pushed it there, hooked it left, did the freshman kicker and Troop O'Neal. So, with a score of 13-7 last year in this contest, GAC with a second half touchdown had a chance to win it in the 4th, but wasn't able to do so. And now that door just creeps open just a little bit here for the Spartans again. After a missed PAT, they find themselves down 13 with 2:51 remaining in the 3rd.
And right here, big drive for GAC. You don't want to come off the field without points, definitely.
So gut check time for the Spartans. This 21-member senior class certainly did not have aspirations of dropping to 1-2 to start the season. They want to defend that region championship, which they've won the last 4 years, and they have aspirations to not just be in the state championship, but to win that state championship inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
You look at a game like this, like you just said, you talk about the gut check. This is where you find out what type of players, what type of team that you have. Do you guys have the resolve to make a comeback at home? Because it's still plenty of time in this game.
First home game of the season for the Spartans in front of a packed house. Low line drive to the far side. Bailey will let it ride out of bounds, and luckily that will push and start the GAC possession out to about the 35.
Definitely. You look at PCA right there. If you get a guy that's hustling down on the kickoff team, you may be able to recover that football there. Let's see what GAC is going to do offensively here. Again, you still have time to get chunks of yards with your running game behind your big offensive line. It can still be done.
And so Greater Atlanta Christian, and their starting quarterback in his senior season, Jackson Hardy, plans to attend University of Richmond to play quarterback there for the Spiders next season. But this season, his senior season, leads 20 other seniors onto this field. Jack Hardy fakes the handoff, keeps it himself off to the right side. He's going to be hit for no gain on the play.
Now, these are plays for the GAC offense that when you're looking on that play sheet, you probably want to take that one back.
And so that wide receiver in Spencer Helms that made the play defensively, who is one of the go-to targets for GAC. Here offensively, in the absence of their top two wide receivers in Jake Hicks and Christian Thomas. Looks like he's still on the sidelines massaging at the right quad after that cramp. Might have tweaked it a little bit too as well. He's limping around, and so he's going to be limited physically here for the Spartans. And again, maybe even page 2 or 3 of the playbook for Jackson Hardy and his dad, Tim. 3rd and 5. Hardy gets a snap, looks to his left, comes out to the near side. Pitch and catch is caught for a first down across the 45, short of midfield. But that's the other big tall target, and Thomas Lohman, the junior tight end wide receiver at 6'3", 205.
Very good execution on that play. You got a clear out on the outside, bringing your slot receiver on the 5-yard out, converting that for a first down. Big play. Big drive for the GAC team. Again, they cannot come off the field without points on this
And this
drive.
is not an indictment on the Spartan fans. This is more so prosperity for PAC and what they've done. A huge pitch and catch to convert the change, down by 13, and not a whole lot of excitement out of the Spartan fans because they realize they're a long way away from glory here.
They need a big play right here.
1st and 10. Hardy gets a snap, hands it off to Bride. Bride bounced off to the left side. Big-time playmaker, gets across midfield into Lion territory at the 43-yard line. Solid pickup of 10 yards, and that will move the chains.
A lot of the last few running plays for GAC, they're running into this boundary here. A lot of short side runs. They're trying to get to the edge real quick. Let's see if they can continue that with this drive.
So a couple of huge chunks of yardage in the last 2 plays. Spartans trying to keep that momentum and that rhythm offensively. Hardy, shotgun set. Has Bride to his left. He'll get the snap. Hand it off to Bride, the right side. Streaking in for that defensive end position for the Lions will be Graham Hill.
We're starting to see the PCA defense. They're starting to creep up more and more people into this box. They can sense that they can control the passing game. Play action right now would be a positive for GAC.
2nd and 7. Will look to be next to no gain is actually positive yardage out to the 40.
Because you definitely have your running game going. Slot receiver is open right now.
Play action pass indeed. Hardy looks over the middle of the field, loops it down the middle of the field. It's going to be caught inside the 5-yard line, taken down close to the goal line. Beautiful call there, and a catch made down to the 2-yard line by Damon Fleming.
I feel a little Tony Romo-ish right there with that call. Your running game is working. Take a shot.
Got man-to-man coverage over the middle of the field. That's actually one of the backup, that's not number 8. I apologize there. That's Brooks Miller. That makes a lot more sense there. Brooks Miller making that catch over the middle of the field from that tight end slot receiver spot.
And here you go. Line up, get behind your big guys, pads low, and push this thing in the end zone.
Shotgun set again for Hardy. Got Bride to his left. Bride will get the carry up the middle, and he'll cruise right on into the end zone. And it'll be a touchdown for the Spartans as GAC now cuts the deficit at the moment to 7 and a chance to make it 6.
Couldn't come off the field without a touchdown for GAC. Very tough drive right there for Coach Hardy and his offensive crew. Again, very big throw. You got your running game going. Take a shot. I'm surprised they hadn't taken more shots this game.
Well, the interesting thing is the depth chart certainly depleted at the wide receiver position for the Spartans. They're already started the game without Jake Hicks or Christian Thomas, their top 2 receivers. Zach Mixon is out of this contest too with a potential head injury. And then you've also got Spencer Helms, who's not 100%, potentially cramping too as well. So even if your go-to wide receiver is Brooks Miller, and this is not a knock on him, from a depth chart standpoint, he's their 5th best receiver who makes that catch down the middle of the field.
Right. And again, all you can do is when your number's called, make a play. And now GAC should have more confidence later on in this game to go back to them. Plays like that build confidence and get you going.
A couple of seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Spartans cut the deficit to 7 after PCA misses the point after attempt. Now GAC misses the point after attempt too, so it was a chance to really put some fear into the Lions' heart. Now kind of makes this a regular 7-score game.
And what's funny now, PCA offensively, what do? Do you go ahead and put this ball on the ground, run it, and try to head back to Texas? Or do you stay with your senior passer, see if you can get another big play, and put GAC back in the game?
It's interesting. It's logic says that Switzer last time out there struggled a little bit, but you're able to cash it in for a touchdown. You want to protect the 7-point lead, so maybe you don't need the gunslinger and the gambler and Switzer. You stick to the freshman that's going to line everybody up and not get you behind the chains.
Right.
And again, we said it, the negative for Switzer, he turns into positive somehow. So we're on schedule here to go back to the freshman and McGuire Martin.
And again, big drive for PCA right here, because what they need to do is really grind this clock now. It's very imperative for them to get this running game going right now.
And so this will be the last play of the third quarter.
As the big senior, he's still in.
So they will stick with Jacob Switzer. Motion across the face of the formation. Switzer's going to keep it himself off to the left side, across the 20, the 25, and the 30. He'll have the first down, and he'll run out of bounds at about the 37-yard line as the clock will stop just a couple of seconds short of that end of the third quarter.
And, Matt, you just talked about this kid and his playmaking ability. It may not get him lined up right, but when the ball is snapped, he seems to make plays.
And so now 1st and 10 from his own 36. I might have lied to you before, but I'm telling you the truth now. This will be the last play of the third quarter.
Yes, it will be.
2 receivers each side. Stafford motions across. Switzer will keep it himself off to the left side. Heat from the backside, heat from the front side too as well. They'll stretch the play out to the 35. He'll actually get north to close to the 40. And again, what looks to be a sack turns into a gain of 4. And now both teams will keep that tradition alive and put 4 fingers high to the sky. 3 quarters are in the books.
Put them up.
Prestonwood Christian leads 27-7. It's PCA with the football here to start the fourth quarter. We'll flip-flop sides. And Macio Hurd alongside Matt Mahoney. Hassan Khan down on the sideline providing some great insight. GAC, you could argue, is down to their 5th best receiver from a health standpoint. They haven't had the tremendous success of dominating the line of scrimmage like they thought they would have. But here in the second half, both teams have gone to the air to convert possessions into points. As we start the fourth quarter, how do you corral everybody in here?
Look at both teams right now. Coach Hardy, you have to be impressed by his GAC squad. Down 2 scores, needed to make a play. They made a play, got back on the board. Now for PCA, can they grind this game down? Again, you have your gunslinger in the game right now. Do you continue to take chances with him right now? They let him use his legs, not really putting the ball in the air. He's been very effective. So the chess match continues. Again, we got a 1-score game. Anything can happen.
So 2 veteran coaches here that have been in these situations. This has a very December feel to it for both these teams who make deep runs in the playoffs. As Coach Cunningham said it earlier this week, last year a 13-7 victory for the Lions. He said GAC was the toughest team they played all year before getting into the state championship. And GAC has similar sentiments about this Lions squad. 2nd and 5, a hitch route out to the second half MVP for the Lions. And Riley Wilson moves the chains to the 46.
And again, right there, that's just PCA taking advantage of cornerbacks playing off on my best receiver, just throwing the ball. And he's still giving him like a lot of cushion up top.
Switzer, your quarterback, the senior transfer. Hands it off to Taylor. Taylor off to the right side, surrounded by red shirts. It'll be a hit and drop short of the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and long for the Lions.
Very good play by the GAC front. Not allowing that play to turn the corner. A lot of red jerseys to the ball.
Timothy Taylor, that scat back, that number 2 running back. They like the jet sweeps. They like to get him the football outside the tackle. Hasn't had nearly as much success as Randall Holmes at between the tackle runner, which again, we scratch our head why that works as well. Switzer, double barrel shotgun set. He will hand it off to Holmes. No, excuse me, Switzer kept it.
Oh.
Switzer's across midfield out to the 45. He fooled us all, and now a late flag comes flying into as well. The world thought Holmes had it for a loss of 4 in the backfield, but Switzer pulled it at the last moment and gets 10-plus yards at it. The Zebras huddle up here to figure out what the flag is about. Here's the replay.
Excellent read. Excellent read. Again, here's your quarterback, RPO situation, inside zone. He's basically kept the ball the last 3 or 4 times, so we shouldn't be surprised. He fooled me. He definitely fooled me that time. I thought GAC made a nice defensive play.
Look how long this read lasts. Holmes has this after 2 steps. Holmes, a running back here. 1 step, 2 step, even a 3rd step. He still has it as you look into the shot there as the defensive end for the Spartans makes the tackle. And just like that, Switzer pulled it out. And so here's a call from the official. We get a dead ball personal foul against the Lions. And again, the negative for Switzer. He turns it into a positive as he probably gets, was the lone Lion around where that flag landed. So you can use your better judgment to what that penalty was for.
Without a doubt. He probably said a couple of things he shouldn't say.
And so now the positive of a 10-yard gain turns into a 15-yard penalty, and you repeat 3rd down at 3rd and 15 now.
Big play here. Again, you have a big arm quarterback who can make all of the throws on the field.
First down marker sits in the Spartan territory at the 44-yard line. Switzer, double barrel shotgun set. Fakes the handoff to Taylor, runs to his right, scrambles, dumps it off out of bounds, getting rid of it and avoiding the sack, but that will put the punt team on the field. Switzer in the Lions sideline won a late hit out of bounds, but no flag on the play, and so PCA will run the punt team out there.
And so here we go. GAC with their home crowd with them. They have a chance to go down, tie it up, or take the lead.
And so 10:45 remaining in the 4th quarter. Spartans look to get the football back, down 7. Lions have struggled with a punt already. Another low snap. This one scooped up and just barely getting it off will be the PCA punter. In the meantime, this one's going to be caught by Miller, and he'll be hit abruptly at the 30-yard line, and GAC will take over.
Excellent coverage by the PCA punt team. Again, they almost got that punt. That could have been, Upback made a tremendous play. He's going to get a special team sticker for that one there because he saved his punter on that. And, again, great coverage on the punt unit.
And so Diego Camarena gets that punt off. Miller might have risked a little bit there by catching that ball and not fair catching it. And so now Jackson Hardy in his senior season with 20 other members in his senior class has a chance to make a memory here, down 7 with 10:39 remaining. That's a handoff to Bryant. He'll have positive yardage out to the 35-yard line. Another late flag comes flying in here.
Whenever it's coming from that backside, it's not good for the offense. Definitely not good for the offense.
And so now, I believe that's number 76 there for the Spartans there. And David Monragan, the senior, not happy with where this flag is. Maybe he caught wind of a holding penalty. And you see 76 shaking his head there. It's to say, Coach, that wasn't me, I promise.
Right. And again, Coach is going to get that number, make that notation on his call sheet. He'll hear about it again on Monday.
So it is a 10-yard holding penalty. Repeat the down. It'll be 1st down and 20.
Tough penalty right there. Tough penalty to start your drive.
So 1st down marker just shy of the 40 in GAC territory. So now Wildcat formation here for Bride with double tight end set. He'll bounce out to the far side. He'll have positive yards out to the 30 to 40. He'll have plenty of room to run. Spartan fans are on their feet. Watch Bride go. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Greater Atlanta.
Wow. Wow.
Another 70-plus yard touchdown run by the Spartans. No trickeration this time. In the first half, It was Monte Bailey on a Statue of Liberty, goes 77 yards for a touchdown in the first half. Now here in the second half, the equalizer is another 79-yard, correction, make that an 80-yard touchdown run on the Wildcat formation for Tyler Bride, headed to Statesboro, Georgia, to play for Georgia Southern as a defensive back. But tonight, for Greater Atlanta Christian, he puts the game-tying touchdown into the end zone. We're all knotted up at 27 apiece.
Again, Matt, nothing fancy. You see the tailback lined up at quarterback. You know he's not throwing the football. Defense continues not to make the adjustment. And again, great athlete just making a great play.
And so GAC has stuck to that game plan. They have trusted that offensive line. The Lions have won the line of scrimmage battle. There's no doubt about it. But two plays that have gone for more than 70 yards for the Spartans have kept them in this contest. So the question is, are the Spartans wearing down the Lions just a little bit?
Matt, this might be one of those situations where that road trip may have caught up with you. Could be that type of situation here. Let's see what Coach Cunningham and his crew come up with on this drive, because again, they're only one throw away, depending on who they have at quarterback.
And you hear basketball coaches talk about this all the time. We spend so much energy to tie the ball game. Do we have what it takes to take the lead?
Right.
And so the Lions have been in control of this contest for the entire game. 10 minutes remaining. You would hate to waste that effort and that opportunity here. And we go back to the Spartans. Do they have enough to get a stop and get another possession in this game?
And right here, if you're PCA, you have to control the football here. The momentum has swung in this game right now. GAC, they've tied it up. They fought from 2 scores down. The excitement in the building now could be tough for these guys.
And so we're all tied up 27 apiece. A little bit more than 10 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Lions with the football. They'll go with the senior. Maybe the learning curve. No, excuse me. The freshman. And McGuire Martin gets the snap. Hands it off to Taylor. Taylor, hit and drop for next to nothing.
And this is what's funny, Matt. Right now, with the freshman back in the game, you understand from a defensive standpoint, he's not the thrower of the football. Maybe the defense tightens up a little bit and try to control this running game here.
And so 9:40 and counting. Clock is ticking. Gain of just 1. Martin, shotgun set. 3 receivers to the right. Looks to the right. Steps up, scrambles left. Got some heat. Turns and loses the football. Does it stay in bounds? It does, and the Spartans recover. So the freshman, who's been rock solid all night long, makes the only mistake of the night, and it's a costly turnover in the red zone for GAC. A late flag comes in, and this will be a little bit extracurricular activity on the GAC sideline.
Definitely will be that. Oh, you can't do that.
And so the football is recovered by Will Gary. And again, emotional moment for the Spartans. He comes running over to the sideline. And a little preconceived celebration there, preempted celebration, may move this back 15 yards.
Fundamentally, when you look at that play, you always want your quarterback to always have 2 hands on the football. Always have 2 hands on the football. Tough break for PCA.
Pressure applied there by Thomas Lohman, the defensive end. And so it will be a sideline warning that goes against the Spartans, not necessarily a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. So a break there for GAC.
Next one will be.
Correct. 1st and 10 from the Lions' 16-yard line. Spartans with a chance to take the lead for the first time in this ball game.
And we talked about momentum right before that play.
Hardy hands it up to Bride. Nowhere to go, trying to go up the gut.
Here's one of those drives right here. You got the ball on the plus side of the field. Use that big offensive line to go ahead and lean on PCA just a little bit more.
It's a great field position after a costly second turnover for PCA. And Now we're going to get a stoppage by the officials here, and we're going to get a mediation moment and to try to cancel some of these players. Don't know if there's a little bit too much energy or too much animosity.
Yeah,
It can't be too much animosity.
Yeah, it looks that way.
So just trying to get everybody calm down just a little bit after a sideline warning against the Spartans. Clock now runs inside 8 minutes. 2nd and 10. Hardy in the shotgun set. 2 receivers each side. Bryan in motion. Bryan will fake the jet sweep. Keeping himself will be Hardy, and Hardy with a spin move was one broken tackle away from the end zone, but holding on for dear life and saving the tie ball game is the linebacker, Michael Graham.
Very nice play call. Again, Tyler Bryan, he's made plenty of plays tonight. They see his jet motion going. Of course, the defense going to react. Quarterback keep up the middle. Very nice call.
Gain of 6, brings up 3rd and a long 4. 2 receivers to the left, 2 backs in the backfield. Hardy gets a snap, hands it off to Bride. Bride makes a man miss at the 10, dumbles forward at the 5. He'll move the chains. 1st and goal for Greater Atlanta Christian.
And here you go one more time. Get behind your big offensive line and let them do the work.
And so now the Spartan fans stand on their feet for a consistent basis. Something to cheer about. Their team has battled back and trailed this entire contest, tying it up at 27 after an 80-yard touchdown run by Tyler Bride. A chance to take the lead inside 8 minutes remaining. Hardy under center, hands it off to Bride. Bride right side. Positive yardage inside the 5, maybe to the 4.
And here we go right here. Want to see that play maybe get flipped, run outside. Let Tyler get to this wide side of the field and see if he can just outrun everybody to the end zone.
And so as much respect that Coach Cunningham, as well as us, members of the media, the fans, you name it, that have for that GAC offensive line, more than enough respect has been given or needs to be given to that PCA defensive line. 2nd goal, Bride got some room to run, finds a crease. Touchdown, Spartans!
You see it's 4, maybe 5 white jerseys on the ground right there. Again, front line, offensive line, blowing people off the ball, and look who they ran behind.
They moved Hinton to that right side. They collapsed down. They've even got number 3 and Brian Struthers in the game too as well. The 3 5-star guys lined up shoulder to shoulder to shoulder, and the Spartans find that crease with Tyler Bride right into the end zone.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. And again, when you have athletes like this on your front line, run behind them. I mean, it's no secret. We're going to the end zone. I don't care if you know that's where we're going running with the football.
PAT is good as well. 34-27 your score. Spartan fans on their feet, putting their hands together with something to be excited about here as the Spartans take their first lead of the contest with 7:11 remaining here in the 4th.
I would love to see how many yards Tyler Bride has on the ground tonight. I'm going to the back on that play that he has to pull the ball. Defense sold out going to the running play. Has to pull the ball. He's still running right now if he pulls that football.
So tight end to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Jackson Hardy, a chance to put this game on ice. Hands it off to Bride. Bride cross the 30, cross the 35, tackled in bounds. Gain of about 9 yards.
Bride is feeling it right now.
So Prestonwood Christian Academy out of Dallas, Texas, makes the long flight to Metro Atlanta here. Certainly have enough pride and respect for what they've accomplished here, and a successful trip for all, even despite this outcome on the scoreboard. It's a holistic approach to the student athlete and the experience that they're going to get on this trip. But nonetheless, if they want to go home with a better feeling than what they already have, they need a stop here. It's only 2nd and 1. Jackson Hardy hands it off. Bride again. Little shake and bake. Stiff arm. He'll be taken down for a loss, and a late flag coming in. This could be face mask.
Could be. That's what it looks like.
As Dayton Tony tackled Bride really high on the play. There's again some emotions
Right.
out of David Mondragon, who got called for the holding penalty earlier.
They might be on GAC because they're not responding well to the flag.
Or either it's celebrating because it's finally not on them.
Oh, no, they're pointing, so we're going to walk forward.
It will indeed be that 15-yard face mask
You called it, Matt. You saw it.
against PCA. That'll move the chains and put this ball right around midfield. Clock stops, just a little bit more than 3 minutes remaining in this contest.
Here we go. This ball should not go in the air anymore tonight. Ground game.
Help me out. Look at the scoreboard. I believe the Lions have 2 more timeouts.
They do.
Okay.
They do. But 2 more opportunities to stop the clock.
So the old rule of thumb there, you need more first downs than what they have timeouts. So
Definitely.
you can't,
3 first downs.
You can't necessarily sit on 1 here. 2
Right.
probably helps, and 3 does the trick.
Definitely.
1st and 10 from their own 49. Jackson Hardy taking his time, trying to milk that clock. Hands off to Bride. Bride bounce out to the right side. Patiently runs behind Hinton and company, and rightfully so. Positive yardage out to the 49, and the Lions will burn that second timeout.
Smart job by Bride. They thought about bouncing it outside, thought about, hey, sideline over there is their friend, not mine. Kept the ball in between the hashes. Very smart play.
So a timeout here for the Lions. Again, needing a stop. A little bit more than 3 minutes remaining in this contest. Matt Mahoney here alongside Masil Hurd and Hassan Khan on the sideline. We're hoping to get post-game comments from the winning head coach, be that as it may. Chris Cunningham for Prestonwood Christian Academy. His team had led for 38 minutes of this contest. But Greater Atlantic Christian got a turnover, poked it into the end zone to take the lead for the first time with 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And now his team needs a stop more than ever. Meanwhile, Tim Hardy with his son as a signal caller. As a first down or 2 away from seeking that revenge in Plano, Texas a year ago.
And like you said, you're in your 4-minute offense mode. Just need to get first down.
Bride makes the carry, but the Lions swarm him up in the backfield, stopping for a no gain, maybe even a yard loss. It'll bring up 3rd and 9. And the clock is stopped on the field, but I haven't seen an indication by the official. There it is now. And the last timeout burned by Prestonwood Christian Academy.
So now right here for PCA, you have to get a stop. You need everything to go your way on this play here if you want to give your offense a chance, one more chance with the football.
Well, let's jump into that Tim Hardy huddle here. He's got his offense. Bunch of stars in an offensive line. He's relied on them late. They haven't been great tonight, but they've relied on them late. 3rd and 9. The opposition is out of timeouts, right at 3 minutes remaining. You still need 2 first downs, even if you get this one. What do you call here on 3rd and 9?
Yeah.
Who's the name or the number you call here on 3rd and 9?
You're going to number 4. Without a doubt. You're putting this formation right here on this hash. You're getting outside. You blocking everything down, getting him on that edge, letting him know, stay on the numbers. Do not run out there and get that clock to stop.
Again, as much as you would love to throw the football here, the Spartans are just without some of their offensive weapons on the perimeter.
Right.
And so you're down to an injured Spencer Helms, and who stepped up nicely in Brooks Miller. And you've got no wide receivers on the field here in this formation at 3rd and 9. Hardy hands off to Brian. He is hit and dropped to the backfield, absolutely smothered by Graham Hill. And so the clock will run here, and that's important for the Spartans.
No rush to get the punt team on the field.
So they'll bring up 4th and 8.
Let it roll. You should have your coach on the sideline with the clock. He's watching the play clock. He's letting everybody know, look at me. When I point at you, that's when you snap the ball.
They'll snap this ball right around 2 minutes remaining in this contest. So mean that the Lions will take over with literally their 2-minute drill to be installed. The punter is Curlin. Stands at his own 37-yard line. 2 receivers back deep to receive for the Lions, which is Tony and Taylor. Curlin gets the snap, holds it just a little bit too long for comfort, but sends a spiraling side toward Tony. Tony takes her, that's going to be Taylor, who will scoop it up inside the 20 and scramble out to 25. Stage is set here.
So here we go.
Spartans 34, Lions 27. PCA takes over, down a touchdown, 1:57 remaining. We're scheduled to see Jacob Switzer, the gunslinger, and I would imagine circumstances would call for him to be in this contest at this point.
Without a doubt, he's the better thrower of the football. He can get it in chunks. No, they're going back with the young gun.
They at least have the freshman out there in number 13 and McGuire Martin. So the freshman trips to the near side, one to the far side. It's Riley Wilson. We'll take our John Madden pen and circle the guy to the top of the screen.
Look for 9.
Motion near side. He'll swing it out to Holmes, the running back. He'll catch it in the flats, move forward across the 30, and he fumbles the football, but I think it bounced right back into his lap at the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 9 as the clock will run inside a minute 44. Lions out of timeouts here.
They need to move a little faster. Oh, they're not lining up right.
Freshman trying to get everybody lined up. He knows the offense. Shotgun 5 wide. Snaps it at 127. Looks to the right, quickly out to the near side. Caught for the first down, but dropped immediately by Bride. By the way, Evan Bird back in the game. He's at the top of the formation defensively for GAC. He's responsible for the go-to man in Riley Wilson. Moves the chains to the 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Clock now runs 1:15 and counting.
If you're the GAC defense, hey, dink and dunk me to death.
Martin taking his time, look to his second option. Can't find him, hit, drop, sacked. What a redemption story for Spencer Helms. Dropped 2 balls in the first half from the wide receiver position, but has made his impact felt with 3 tackles for losses in this second half.
You like to see kids not let negative plays affect the way they play the game as a whole. Great job by that kid.
2nd and 15, 46 seconds remaining. Swing out to the far side. It's going to be caught inbounds. Clock will run. Just a gain of 1 on a tough throw from Martin. Tony instinctively makes the catch, but now everybody's going to have to retreat back quickly with 34 seconds remaining. And officials temporarily stop the clock for a reason that the GAC sideline is not happy about. Now it runs and about 30 seconds remaining. 3rd and 15, first down marker sits at the 48-yard line for PCA. Heaves it down the far side. Here's Wilson intended. He'll make the catch in the Spartan territory at the 46. Now the ball comes loose. We get late indication that it's incomplete, that Wilson didn't take the catch to the ground. Let's see it again.
Again, we knew where the ball was going. I mean, it was no secret. And that's where it's going again on 4th down.
Wilson, far side, in Spartan territory. Catch is down, comes out late. Boyd might have ripped it out. Bird might have ripped it out of there. It's
Great
now
play.
4th and 15 with 19 seconds remaining.
Again.
Martin steps up, right side, looking, sacked from behind. Passes actually picked off, if I'm not mistaken, by Bryant Struthers. It's not going to matter. It's a turnover downs anyways is the worst case scenario. 10 seconds remaining and the Spartans start to celebrate here on a Friday night.
Teachable moment for your 9th grade quarterback. You cannot take sacks in 2-minute offense. Definitely a teachable moment. Love the heart that this kid played with. He will be back.
So indeed, Bryant Struthers will get credit for an interception. And what's been a quiet day for that great young man. But he capped it off with an interception, and that'll be the icing on the cake for Greater Atlanta Christian. 10 seconds remaining, a 7-point lead, and the greatest play call of any head coach in offensive coordination. Victory formation for Jackson Hardy.
Yes, indeed. When you can dial this play up right here, you feel real good about yourself.
Hardy takes the knee, tosses the ball to the referee, and the celebration is on for the GAC Spartans. They seek the revenge from Plano, Texas a year ago, and the Spartans beat the Lions 34-27.
What a game. Hats off to both squads, without a doubt. Great ball game.
And so an unbelievable performance by the Spartans. This should most definitely prepare both the Spartans and the Lions for a deep playoff run again here in 2019. but that 21-member senior class trailed for 3.5 quarters. They did not accept the fact that they were going to be 1-2. They get the win. They're now 2-1 on the season. This will be the first loss for Prestonwood Christian. They're now 1-1 on the year. But first, let's look at Chris Cunningham's program, the decision, the experience, this fellowship around football. I know it's going to be a little bit of pain, but all things considered, a fantastic job by Chris Cunningham and his staff for the game plan that they executed today.
Without a doubt, he told us earlier, it's not always about the wins and losses. The experience that his kids got the last couple of days to come play in a big-time environment like this, you couldn't ask for more.
And again, it started with a flight on Thursday, an opportunity to see some exhibits in Atlanta like the College Football Hall of Fame, a dinner with their fellow players and coaches and administrators last night before the volleyball game. Both volleyball teams played last night, and it accumulated into a football game here tonight in front of a packed house too as well. That 120-plus member party class, including in addition to the fans that have made the trip here too as well. A really tip of the cap to them. I think my biggest takeaway from this was the performance by the young men up front for Prestonwood Christian. They were going up against stars galore here tonight, and they more than held their own. I know the stats is going to say they gave up a ton of rushing yards, but they got probably 150 of those rushing yards on 2 touchdowns with 2 players.
On 2 long runs, definitely on 2 long runs again. This is what we're witnessing at the 50-yard line. This is what this game is about. Both programs, both class programs. Man, got to take your head off the both of these heads.
And again, you see red mixed with white there, a little bit of navy blue from the coaching staff, and the grays from Greater Atlanta Christian. There's both head coaches in the middle of that circle there. There's a sense of prayer. There's a sense of camaraderie. There's a sense of togetherness and a successful job. Tip of the cap to the administrators, the coaching staff, the parents, the booster club members. I'm sure, I don't know how many cars they had to wash to get here, but I'm sure it wasn't just a couple. So the fundraising efforts for everybody there in Plano, Texas, to support this program, this community, this church, and this football program to do this is certainly worth it. And I think what we didn't mention here that kind of hit me midway through the week, is how brilliant of an idea this is. For both these programs to travel, it gives you that college experience. Because how many times on Saturdays do you see somebody playing in different time zones, or they have to jet lag, or they have to play the 11 a.m. game for a noon kickoff? And this is a way to even further prepare your program and your players for the next level. So the first time they go on that plane trip, for a lot of those teammates as a freshman, it's the first time they've ever been on a plane in their life.
First time they've ever been on a plane. And for a lot of the kids, first time they've ever been outside the state.
Correct.
So, man, again, 2 class programs. Man, again, tipping my hat to these guys.
And again, it just feeds Tim Hardy's program and the type of players that he can develop and the college coaches that he can bring to this campus. Say, hey, listen, my guys are more than ready once they step foot. And now the popular trend with the early signing period in December and the early enrolling in January, I know it's putting a lot of pressure on 16 and 17-year-olds to grow up really quickly, but I think the 16 and 17-year-olds that come from these 2 programs are a little different than your average 16 and 17-year-olds.
I'm going to totally agree with you on that. And again, the experience that these kids get on a campus like this, you can't beat it.
And so again, congratulations to Greater Atlanta Christian, Tim Hardy and company. Great moment for his son there, Jackson, who gets a big win at home on the home opener, 34-27, your final score. And not to put it on one man's shoulder, but that touchdown there to Bride was set up by a beautiful pass down the middle of the field to Brooks Miller, who's not even on the 2 depth chart normally for this wide receivers, but the 5th man on the roster streaks right down the middle of the field. This was a big turning point in the game to tie things up.
Listen, when he hits the hallways on Monday, I will have my jersey on. Be like, hey, I made that play. Never forget. Never forget.
So Brooks Miller stepped up in a big way. Hopefully that wide receiver core can get healthy for Coach Tim Hardy and company, as again, they're going to try to defend that 4th region championship, 4 in a row region championships for GAC, and of course trying to compete for a state championship. That is certainly what this campus is starving for at this point. Tradition here for the Spartans. They'll sing the fight song in front of the band here as we go to wrap things up here. The Spartans win by a final score of 34-27. Macio, give me some final thoughts here as we wrap things up, my man.
One of the biggest points that we talked about, and it came true, turnovers.
Yeah.
The turnover battle swung for GAC, and they took advantage of it tonight.
Yeah, tough tie ball game here. The freshman quarterback for the Lions rolls to his right, loses the football, and that led to the go-ahead touchdown for GAC late in the fourth quarter. Again, we want to thank everyone that tuned in here to this contest. Certainly, we want to send best wishes, safe travels, and our prayers to those flying back to Dallas, Texas, and the Plano, Texas community there with the Prestonwood Christian Academy here for our sideline reporter, Hassan Khan. Marcio Hurd, I'm Matt Mahoney signing off here from Norcross, Georgia. Please stay tuned to thesuvtv.com. You can go back and watch this game on demand for both the Lions and the Spartan fans. We'll encourage you guys to follow us on Twitter at SUVtv, both on Instagram and Twitter. The best coverage of high school football in Atlanta, Georgia happens right here on the SUVtv. We want to thank our proud partner and Gwinnett Football Report who made this game possible. Give them a follow too. The best coverage of Gwinnett County football that produces some of the best talent in the country happens in this county right here. Give them a follow to get all the latest news, information, and highlights from at Gwinnett FB. Both follow them on Twitter and Instagram. Marcus, you good? I'm good. Marcio's good. We'll get out of here. So long from Norcross, Georgia. Spartans win by a final score of 34-27. I'm Matt Mahoney saying so long, everybody. This has been SUV TV's coverage of high school football in Atlanta, Georgia.